Welcome, welcome, welcome. What are we racing, Royal Mac? I didn't know we're racing. How's everybody doing this wonderful Sunday evening here? It is actually kind of cool. It rained all day long here. Things went a little bit sideways yesterday after making the video. I was going to finish the van, and the backing plate actually tore off. So I had to order a new backing plate. It just came in earlier today from Amazon. So I'm going to be able to finish doing the actual Big Bertha, which is still behind me. I have Big Bertha number 2, the black Big Bertha here, and I left it in the garage, so that way it would be nice and pretty. If you guys haven't had a chance to see the video, please go take time. It's a longer video, but that's because I explain everything and I show all my steps along the way. And I would really enjoy it if you guys would actually go watch it, leave a thumbs up, stuff like that for me, because it was a huge, huge transformation from how bad it really was to what it is now. Again, if you didn't see it, short review of it, it works good. Is it going to remove all your squirrels? Of course not. No, it's not. It's just a light polish with a carnauba mixed in with some fillers, of course. And but it does very good for what it does. If you want a true correction, obviously you need to go to a compound or something like that. But I was really and genuinely impressed with how good Turtle Wax did, especially on this van, which is just, is in horrible shape. From the looks of it from a distance, it looks good, right? If you look at it, you're like, okay, Chad, it's in pretty good shape. Which it is, they didn't really treat it trash or anything like that. But wherever they take it to get the car washed, it just swirled out of control. So I've already showed videos, and I sent it to the lady who owns it up there. She's actually in Chicago right now, and right by Turtle Wax. She owns a lake house down up there. And that's why she's like, take the van as long as you need it. And so what happened is I'm just going to work on it. And she was very impressed when I showed her the before and after. I made a separate video for her, and I thanked her very much for letting us borrow her husband's or late husband's van. So big shout out to her, and big shout out, of course, to the Turtle Wax crew for letting us be one of the first ones to get to try it. It rained all day today, so I did not get to actually make the follow-up video with the actual spray ceramic wax that came with it. And I really wanted to go ahead and finish at least the one side, the driver's side, where I'm going to do a video on it, showing it, the application side, stuff like that, before and after. At least get that done. But when the backing plate for the polisher actually ripped last night, I was like, oh crap, so I have to get a new one. But the backing plate has lasted me for a couple years now. So Gorilla's Garage, again, is just, I love their company. They make quality stuff, good long-lasting stuff. Let me make sure to say hello to everybody. I want to always be polite to everybody. Gustavo, how you doing, buddy? Amoto, how you doing, man? It's going good. Damn it, Sunday, it is camp. It is. Can you believe that? Ken, what's going on, man? Did you test out the new products from Chemical Guys? I haven't really messed with Chemical Guys too much. I did buy one or two other things to try out here. I bought it at Walmart because, I try and stay with a lot of stuff over the counter for the most part, because that's what most people care about. Would you say Seal and Shine and standalone there paired with another? Seal and Shine. Which company makes that? Let me be real with you, because I kind of mix them all up together. Because Black Match is set for a lower end quality company products, and that's fine. So the people that don't really give a crap, they just want their car to be washed and they don't care, and they don't want to spend $3 or $4 on a product. That's who Black Magic's geared for. Best wheel cleaner, the one I personally use all the time, it's easy to get over the counter, is Meguiar's Ultimate Wheel Cleaner. It has the color change and the whole 9 yards. I specifically use it. Let me tell you, the wheels on the minivan, they were so bad. So somebody must have put a coating or something on it, because the face of it is very shiny and very nice, but the barrels were so black and nasty. I had to spray them down with the Meguiar's Ultimate and just let them sit there for like a minute or two. Then I came back with the Daytona Speed Brush, and I went all the way deep in there, and there's still areas in there that are permanently stained. But I got a lot of it out, so most of the barrels are still pretty nice and shiny again, which has been really good. What's going on, Venom? How you doing, buddy? How's the pads they gave you? I would compare them. I want to say they're based on the Cobra pads. I have a very sneaky suspicion that they partnered with Cobra, because Cobra pads are identical, and that they partnered with them to make their products. And that's totally cool. I have no problems with companies straight up getting together and making the best of products they can as a package deal. So one works on the polish, the other one works on the actual pads. Totally fine, love it, made in America, 2 thumbs up. I had no issues with the pads. I've used them all over, and until the backing plate actually began to rip last night, I had no problem. I was just churning along. I put on my Bose headsets, I was listening to music, and I was just going to town on this van. One thing everybody asked me, I had somebody ask me in the comments already, Chad, are you only going to do the hood, or are you going to do the whole van for the person? I said, no. I borrowed the van to get it done. It was her late husband's that just died like 2 months ago's van. And I told her when I return it, it was going to be spotless. And that is my guarantee. So I am going to finish the entire van. And then we're going to be actually hitting it with the blacks, their new acrylic black wax. And we're going to be laying it on top of there. I've already cleaned the glass. I put some, the turtle wax spray ceramic wax all over the glass to give it some nice water repellency. So I'm going to finish the van. It is going to be spotless when I return it back to them and give her back the keys to her van, because that's the way I see it. You let me borrow something. She's also babysat my son twice now. Didn't ask for anything. We tried to pay her and she just said, take the money back. I'm not like that. So I want to make sure that I give back to her for what she's done for us. So basically the pad's really good. What's going on, Pat's fan? I used some McGuire ceramic wax and it looks great. I was actually going to be trying that on my wife's minivan, the Big Bertha outside my other. So basically, if you guys don't know, these are essentially the same van. This is the base model LX version of the van. It's cloth seats, no like sweet key and all that stuff. And then out there is my wife has the SE version, has like the body kit on it, makes it look sportier, leather seats, every power and option you can imagine. That's what the difference is. But other than that, they're the same exact toy to see in a minivan. Zuko, thank you so much, man. I got that one. I had that done about 2 or 3 years ago, and then last year I custom ordered this one from the same company that has a Civic Type R on it. So because you know me, I love neons. I've always been a big fan. I grew up in the 80s. I'm obviously a little bit older, but I love it. So the next thing I'm going to do is have the same company. I'm going to make a sign that's going to hang up there. It's going to say, have the YouTube logo, and it's going to say Acc0rd79 on it. Maybe I'll put it somewhere else. I don't know where I'll put it, but that's my next big thing, have another big giant sign built. The problem is they come in from China, and right now, obviously, we're having some issues. I haven't been on your live stream. David, you are more than welcome to hang out in my live stream anytime you want. Welcome to the party. Ken, it's been a minute. Have you tried any black magic? I have back in the day, and it lasted a couple days to a week, but it wasn't great. Have you tried Poor Boy's wheel cleaner? I have not, buddy. I like your Toronto Blue Jays old school logo, buddy. What's up, Gage? How you doing, buddy? Chad, if you chose one product of what? You didn't specify. Love how bright the garage is. Yes, sir. I got 10 of these freaking lights. See them all daisy chained together? There's 10 of them together now that are daisy chained together, plus the regular 2 fluorescent lights, plus the garage lights, which are all LEDs for the garage door opener. I make sure to really light this bad boy up for these videos. Chad, did you know if you use turtle wax carnauba on windshield, it makes the rain barrier? I personally use, I'll show you what I use, guys. I use this on the plane that I was flying, that I was running, and everything. This is what I use, the Turtle Wax Hybrid Solution Ceramic Spray Coating. I use this on the windows on this minivan. I used it on, I use it all over my wife's minivan windows. I use it on my cars, everything. This goes on everything. It's meant for plastics. You can put it on everything. I think this one's actually okay. Yes, can be used on wheels, exterior glass, and plastics. The only thing it's not meant to be used on is convertible tops. So you can put this on your wheels, whatever you want. Turtle Wax made a stellar product. So yes, I do use this kind of stuff on my cars the same way. And I love it, especially because it's been raining. As a matter of fact, the Civic Type R has been sitting outside, and it rained all day today. Nice light rain all day. The beating and sheeting on that sucker right now is stellar right now. Absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. I bet she ran the van through the Swirl-O-Matic. You know what? Like I said, Dalton, this was her late husband. Her husband literally died 2 months ago. So this was his van. So he used it all the time. She has a Mercedes, and she has a Cadillac and all this stuff. They have 2 homes. They have their big house in Chicago, and they have another house down the street here. So what they do is they bounce back and forth. But she's been back there since her husband died. So the van's just been sitting here, and one of their neighbors has access to their house and hid the keys from me outside and said, just return it whenever you're done, because obviously she's not here to drive it anyways. And her Mercedes, I think, is still in the garage. So I'm going to really take care of her because of the fact that she's always taking care of me. And then, of course, it's been on some rough times before all this drama even happened. Oh, man, good coffee. I needed some coffee. I got up a little bit early today. I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted. If you had to choose any chemical glass product, what would it be? If I had to choose any one of them, I would say probably something like a Jet Seal. They're synthetic wax. I like that. It lasted me a good solid 5 to 6 months. No issues at all. Easy to apply, easy to remove. If I wanted a snow foam products, I would have no problem recommending any of their car soaps for their foam gun. However, their car soaps are not that great in the actual 2-bucket method. Their scents are always good. I love the scents as long as you find one that you like. And that's generally what I would tell you right there. Chad, let's see your toilet paper stockpile. Actually, we bought some about 2 weeks before all this drama started, and we had already had some. And I was like, I'm seeing on the news that up north and stuff, people are making a rush on toilet paper. So let's go ahead and buy it stacked. So we did. We bought a big, massive one of 20 or 30 rolls. We don't go through tons of stuff, okay? These people that are hoarding them are just stupid right now, and they're hoarding because many people want to flip it and make money. And I'm glad they're getting caught about that because I know what they're doing. But I was just at Walmart today, and Walmart's just got out of control. Now you have to wait in lines. It looks like Disney World just trying to get into Walmart. Fortunately, we didn't have to wait in any line, but they have these. It's all roped off where you basically still have to go through this line now. Only allowed a certain amount of people in Walmart. It's just stupid shit. Tire shine, preferably one that doesn't sling. So I personally go from ones. I'll give you an example. Let me find one right here. I have some here. Don't knock anything over, Chad. Don't knock anything over. I would go stuff like this. This is Masterson's version of it, but it's because it's actually a cream based and you apply it with applicator pad, that tends to last a lot longer. So if you want to get about 2 weeks out of it, definitely check out that kind of stuff. Chemical Guys VRP also has one. Adams has a gel, and McGuire's has a gel as well. Those are a couple ones that I would give you some nods at. Hey, give those a shot, and they'll last you a little bit longer. If you want the highest bright shine, then you're probably going to go to the Dub. Obviously, don't make Dub anymore. McGuire's, the aerosol can, stuff like that you want to look at. Aerosol cans are going to give you that really wet shine. Coverall is going to give you a good wet shine. The Crystal products in the purple can will give you a really good bright shine. These are generally what you kind of want to look at, but it's not going to last that long, guys. Hey, Chad, been a while since I've made a live. Hunter, you're always welcome here, buddy. Raccoon Gaming and Automotive. First live stream I've seen from you this year. Raccoon, I don't know who you are because clearly you changed your name, but very much welcome to the party. You are always welcome here at the Hangout Place. Ask you the Mercedes, then you should see the paint correction easier. Actually, Dalton, if you did see the video, the one thing I didn't like is the big camera that I use. It took a few seconds to get in focus, but once it did get in focus, you could clearly see it before and after. Now, I will tell you guys, after our camera, I finished the rest of it, and because you guys got to see in the video, it was still a little bit swirls on it and stuff, and I plan on using this for a lot more testing, and I really want to make sure she's blown away. I came back with a true compound and knocked out for about 95% of the swirls because, actually most of the scratches too. Those deep ones that, the machines they drive them through tore up. But you guys got to see a true results of what it was, and I was very surprised for one pass. That's why at the end of the video, if you watch all the way to the end, I said I would love to see Turtle Wax have a hybrid solution, either compound or polish, or a one-all that's a hybrid compound polish in one bottle. That way we can see true correction, no protection, just leave it just straight cutting power, and let's see what she can actually do. And I really like that. And I actually wrote Kelly, the person at Turtle Wax that I have to have contact with, and I asked her that, and I said, thank you very much for thinking about me, and maybe you could tell Mike up there what he thinks about it. Also, love your thoughts that Chemical Guys has too. What's up, David Hernandez? $5 from Ricardo. What's the best leather cleaner conditioner you have used? I personally use Mother's VLR, or sometimes I'll use McGuire's Ultimate Leather Cleaner. Those are my two go-to that I will use all the time. And they just work out really good. So thank you very much, Ricardo, for the $5. I appreciate that, buddy. It's going to go towards spending money because, yeah. By the way, I found a bunch more stuff. I took it out the other day. I don't know if you guys got to see it in the live stream. Sorry, the van's in the way. I backed the GTR out. Just so that, I didn't want to get the actual thing. So it's halfway in the garage, halfway backed out. So that way I could keep this completely covered. I didn't want any junk on it, no debris, no rain or anything. So let me walk on the other side of the van real quick, and I'll show you guys what I actually bought. And so, Ricardo, this kind of stuff that donations like that go to help actually pay so much of this stuff. So everybody was asking, this is Seafoam. You can get this at Walmart now. Seafoam Fast Finish Interior, Total Interior Detailer and Cleaner. It says safe on rubber, vinyl, plastic, rubber, glass, and screens. So, Seafoam was the stuff that you put in your car to make, foam out and clear all the guts of the engine. I guess now they're getting into car detailing stuff. So, hey, I went ahead and picked it up. I think it was like $4 or $5. I did pick up, if anybody has not seen it, the Armor All Interior Detailer. This is new because this is actually no shine. I don't know if you guys see it in the bottom. No shine. Armor All has listened. Armor All was always famous for very greasy, shiny stuff. This is a no shine detailer. So good on them. We're going to be trying this as well. We just talked about tire shines a few minutes ago. from Chemical Guys. You get this at Walmart. These are all Walmart products though, guys, so that's why I'm really trying to hammer it down. Nice and wet tire shine trim coating. Delivers a wet, brilliant shine. Protects against fading, cracking for all tires and plastics. So again, cool, very cool. We're going to be trying this out as well. We bought, in case you guys didn't see the last one, Black Magic Waterless Wash and Detailer. So there you go. It's another one. Dalton actually recommended it to me and I bought it. So you can see where most of my stuff is all Walmart based. Here's your black ceramic, or I'm sorry, the liquid ceramic wax. This stuff is a little bit on the expensive side. I think this was around $17. So when I get the donation stuff like that from Ricardo, I appreciate more than you'll ever know because this stuff is not cheap. And I also bought their Meguiar's ceramic detailer here. So again, I spent, this is all from Walmart. You can easily pick this stuff up. So I'm going to be doing individual reviews. It might take a little bit of time, but these are the kind of things I've purchased with the money I get from donations or the money I get from YouTube ads and stuff like that. So I appreciate all you guys' help with all these issues when it comes to that, because I do spend a lot of money and I enjoy doing it. Don't get me wrong. I would never ask for it, but anything always, of course, helps because Lord knows, I think that alone was like just one of them was like $40 combined just in one binge spending afternoon. But we all do this, and that's why I love getting to do it, because I was doing the same thing you all were doing. What do you use to clean your carpeted wheel wells? Okay, so I just really, I always spray out the thing with the hose. I actually use my Daytona speed brush. I kind of curve it a little bit, the Daytona speed brush, and I get all the way up underneath there, and I actually clean it out. I did it to this vehicle. I did it to all of them. Because I spray the actual wheel cleaner and stuff like that up underneath there. Make sure it gets a little bit loosened up dirt. And then I come back with the Daytona Speedmaster brush, kind of bend it, and I get all the way up under there and actually get it that way. Some people use the long handles and stuff like that, but I found that the Daytona Speed Brush works really good because it's bendable, where the long, stiff handle ones that, of course, they're not. Lexol would be a bad choice. Yes, I don't have any Lexol products at all, Raccoon. Sorry about that. I'm moving around. What do you think about the coronavirus? I don't want to get into that topic. You know, you guys know me. I'm a lot more, we should do what we should do. Let's put it that way. I'm not the ones that's going to be scared to death and just run away. It's just not me. And my wife's medical, as you guys all know. I work for a shipping company, so we're both essential jobs. And you don't see me running around with masks or anything like that. I wash my hands, but that's about all I really want to get into. You know what I mean? I just don't think we should be shutting the whole world down for it. Have you used any Lexol products? Not recently that I can remember, Jacob. If it has, it's been a while, buddy. Hey, AJ, how you doing, buddy? I personally haven't used any Lexol products, but others have. It's fun to be in the Hangouts. Again, Ken, you're always welcome in the Hangouts. What's your favorite products you use on the GCR? Favorite products? Well, in the past, I've used Chemical Guys Jet Seal. Really was impressed with that. I have used, as of late, I have Turtle Wax Iced Seal and Shine on there, which is their Carnauba-based sealant / wax. Love that stuff. Really damn good. It lasts for very, very long. Easy to apply. I use the actual, what is it called? I just showed it to you guys. Their new ceramic spray wax. Duh. I'm sorry, guys. I use this on all the windshield and the glasses of all my vehicles because this is meant to last up to about 12 months. And I love it. I love the stuff. Easy to apply. And just wipes on, wipes off. I love it. And it lasts and lasts and lasts. I don't have to keep waxing every 3 or 4 months. Now, if I was going to tell you guys, we're going to take your red car, whatever car, to a car show, then we'd be applying a true high-end Carnauba wax to your car, because Carnauba is going to give it way more of a deep pop to it. But if you're not doing that, and it's still going to look stinging good, then I'm going to put all the actual spray synthetics and stuff like that kind of thing on it, because life is just a lot easier and it's a lot faster and it lasts much longer. Just curious, but if you have any YouTubers not being discussing about the topic, are you just monetized? Yeah, my channel's monetized. I have no issues with it whatsoever being monetized. I've always left it like that. You know, it's just the way it is. You know, this kind of stuff ain't cheap. And any money I can make from YouTube that helps pay for these products and stuff, then it's totally all good. I mean, I'll give you an example. The camera, I bought it probably almost 2 years ago now, which is a 4K camera. It was $1,299. Okay, that money doesn't grow on trees. So anything that would always help, whether it was YouTube ad money or something, I was always gladly taking it because of that. I don't mind. I love putting the videos out, but you know, when people were saying we'd like to see higher quality, higher video resolution, etc. Well, you know, unless somebody's going to buy it for me, I got to figure out a way to have that kind of money coming in to buy just a basic camera. So that's what I used. Actually, used some YouTube money to help pay for it. We do quick quest to the Black Magic Wireless Wash on the GTR. No, I don't want to. I don't want to bring it out right now. The new YouTube, the new yellow. Sorry, Jesus, my eyes are going bad. I'm getting old, man. The yellow Type R is so dope. What do you think of it? I think it's looked pretty cool. I like the color. I've always liked the yellows. I think it's going to be beyond overpriced. I think remember, their factory shut down right now. All the Honda factories, I think all of them now are shut down. The Type Rs are made in England, by the way. My Type R is made in England. The engine is made in America, the transmission is made in Japan, and its final assembly point is in England. Now, starting 2022 or 23, that factory is shut down, and they're moving the Type R, or let's just call it the actual the hatchback version of the Civic, is going to be made in North America. I don't know if it was in Canada, Ontario, or it's going to be made in United States. But all I know is they announced it last year. They were closing the factory, and they were just going to move all production to North America. So apparently, it's a lot cheaper for them doing that. However, I think the way we know that they were overpricing the Type R here, I can't imagine when you're going to limit to 600 yellow Type Rs, because they're going to be like whatever difference. I bet they're 10 to 20,000 over. When they first hit the lot, they're going to be, I think the MSR on those is going to be like around 38, 39,000 or something like that. I would not doubt if you don't see those yellow Type Rs sitting on lots asking 55,000. They're going to milk it. As a matter of fact, the closest Honda dealership to me is Coggin Honda in South Orlando. That one, they were asking for the blue one, and they had a black one. They were asking 48,000. The MSRP was 36,000. So they were asking almost 12,000 over MSRP. So I can imagine that yellow one will be asking around 55,000, because they're so limited. They're going to be the cars that in 20 years from now, their value is still going to be way up here, because hey, there's only going to make 600 of them. Would you start your own detailing company? No, I have a job. I'm not too worried about it, buddy. Chad, what's up with, so what happened with the van deal? It's right here. It's right here. Didn't you watch my video from today? The van is right here. You got to go watch the video, Yolani. I mean, I literally put out that video for you guys. I really and truly did. So please, I know it's a longer video, but I'm showing the steps. I'm showing everything possible to be realistic and see what it would look like in the real world, and not in a detailer's perfect garage. Okay, guys, let's get our gloves on. Let's get in there with a little fine brush. Screw that. I'm going to show you how it works in the real world. We're going to show it to you, and we're going to have fun while we're doing it. We're going to mess around, and we're going to show you what results you would get if you brought it in on your own vehicle, especially one that like this that was swirled out so bad. These other people might be having it on perfect cars. I brought this car in, and I knew it was going to be scratched up, and it was. So I like this. So please, I know the video is longer, but go watch it if you have a chance. Gage, do you have any plans on moving from the great state of Florida? Gage, the only reason I would move out of Florida is, you guys all know I want to be a commercial airline pilot in about the next 3 or 4 years. If, let's say, we had a job offer that was too good to be true, and I didn't want to take the free commutes with the airlines, then I would consider buying a house somewhere else. But me and my wife have already talked about it. We're at a point now where the house will be, by that time, will be paid off so low that it will be not really worth us selling this house if we can get away with it and just keeping the Florida house, even if we don't live here year round. Kind of like turning into the snowbirds from next door, where you have your main one house here and your other house there. Because I said, well, this way we can keep it and we come and go as we want to. And in your older years, when you get nasty and cold, you just go back to Florida like all the other snowbirds do, because we already have the house and it would already be paid off essentially. Never even heard of Wizards. Actually, I'll take that back. Wizards I have heard of, but I have not actually seen any. How does that sound? I apologize. Ricardo, $20, son. I know I'm a few seconds behind, so let me get back to you guys. Have been watching Usa's review of the cleaner wax on a red Hyundai. Yeah, brother, you are OG, man. Thanks so much, Ricardo. Thank you. That kind of thing, you just $25 is wild, buddy. Thank you. Again, just for you guys who don't understand, you guys understand how fast you can blow through money when you're going to Walmart or wherever you go buy your products from or online. How fast you can blow $100. I do it all the time. I'm crazy though. I'm wild. I don't mind as long as I get to have fun trying it. And to me, that's better than going to a bar and getting wasted and blowing $100 at a bar. or don't go into a club or something like that. It's not like I can bring home a girl anyways or anything. I'm married. So to me, it's my fun there. I get to clean my cars. Those products are mine, so I can keep those for years and years and years without having to drink a couple shots at a bar, and then I piss it out an hour later. So I actually have something tangible. So I really enjoy it. So thank you more than you'll ever know. If anybody's really OG, so I started probably this channel a couple of years ago, and at the time my wife had a red Hyundai Accent when we first got married. She had it for like 10 years before we got married. And that car was not in the best shape, but she never cared about it. She never washed it. So I used to try products on it and all kinds of stuff. Unfortunately, about the second year we lived here, or something like that, maybe third year, we were driving her car. It was pouring rain. It was Memorial Day. I think it was Memorial Day or something like that. Car in front of me literally slammed on the brakes because they saw the light turn yellow and they slammed on the brakes. So I hit the brakes and I locked them up and I hit her at like 10 miles an hour. Well, it popped the bumper, broke the grill, stuff like that on my wife's car. It drove fine. We pulled over the road, we pulled off, and I called my insurance immediately and said, "This is the person I hit. It's my fault, whatever." And so they actually totaled out that car because it really wasn't worth anything. So if you're an OG, you would definitely know about it. After that, we got the blue Hyundai Tucson that you guys have seen maybe years ago. And then after my son was born, we ended up buying the minivan. We've had the minivan ever since. So he's a real OG back in the day. What year is your favorite Accord? Oh, 2009 Accord. I like the Accords from the late 90s. I had a 2000 Honda Accord EX V6 Coupe. I like the V shape of it. That's when, to me, Honda was still in their things. It was almost like a baby Acura Legend, and I loved it. It was great look. So, do you plan on modding Godzilla? No, G, actually, Godzilla is going to be up for sale in a little while because, as you guys probably know, I have my pilot's license. I'm working on my instrument rating. I did a lot more videos last night. I sat there and watched all the online schooling last night. I went through a ton of more lessons. I took a ton more of those practice quizzes. So I'd say I'm over halfway done with the actual online course now, well over halfway. And for the most part, what I'm doing, G, is I'm going to be putting that up for sale so that way I can fund buying my own plane. In these economic times, you don't really want to deal with taking loans, and I really would rather pay almost all cash for a very nicely equipped airplane in very good mechanical shape. So that way I don't have to rent to do any of my lessons anymore. I just have to pay an instructor to sit next to me. And I just have to pay for my own gas, and my own maintenance. That way, so if you guys don't know, if you want to rent a plane, that's totally fine. A lot of places rent it out to you. What happens is you got to go online and book it. And then hopefully nobody has the plane for that morning, that afternoon, that evening that you want it. Otherwise, you got to book it a month or two in advance. And that's basically how it goes, where some of these days we want to do something and somebody already has it booked, the plane's booked. So I'm like, oh, can't go fly today. And if I have my own plane, I just like jump in your own personal car. We just go out and get out and go, What do you think about the new Corolla hatchback? It looks pretty good. What's up, bro? How you doing, Cody? I like the V6 Accords. Get one of the V6 manuals and utilities. Don't really know. I drove the Turbo Accords before I drove the Civic Type R, but I was definitely already hooked on the Civic Type R, and that's what I told the guy. But it was a nice car, but for what I wanted, it wasn't gonna meet my wants. What's the limited deal I want to say in? It's a Honda Civic Type R. What's up, Aaron? How you doing, man? Tigers from Texas. What's going on, boss? Do you know anyone that have DSL? DSL, I haven't heard anybody using that in a long time. What's your favorite drying aid? I will personally use like a wet spray wax. I'll give you, this is the one I've been using lately because I already have it and it's easy to get to. Is this it? No, that's not it. Ah, there it is. So while the car is still wet, I'll use this on there before I wipe it down. Give me a little bit of protection, and again, helps repel a lot of the water, and then I just dry it off. It really, really works great. Is it as good as the actual green bottle stuff? Not even close. This is stellar. This is going to blow you away. But that's good. Let's put it that way. That's good, but that's just stellar. But again, two different types of products for two different types of needs. Oh, what are we saying there? What's up, David? How you doing, man? Thanks for the effort for the new video. Very helpful. I am glad you enjoyed it. I got to talk to Mike and them a while back, and they were asking me about black cars and stuff like that. And I said, honestly, I don't own a black car, so I just don't really think about products that are just made for black or dark cars. So getting to actually try it on Big Bertha here, number 2, the Big Black Bertha, I was really, really impressed with their product. And would I like to see a straight compound and maybe even a hybrid slash compound polish with no wax in it, just pure cutting power? Yes, I would love to. But being what this is geared for, I think it's pretty good. Because let's face it, if you want to get all the squirrels out, you're going to go to a straight compound. You're going to go to a straight polish. You're not even going to waste your time with a mix. You're going to hit it up. This is probably geared for those people that just want to do one hit, quit, have some protection, knock out a lot of the swirls, try and fill in the rest that it can't really hit out, and then go from there. So I was very impressed with what it was and what it could actually do. Favorite wax under $25. I'm so now in the fact that all the spray stuff, like the spray ceramic wax and stuff like that, I'm just so thrilled with that product, guys. You have no idea. I've used this on the rental plane. On the rental plane, I use this on all the plexiglass for the windows. I use this all the time on everything, okay? I put this on my motorcycle helmet and this. If I would tell you anything right now, I would tell you either this or Mother's Ceramic CMX. I love that as well. That gives you a little bit of like a sandy granule type thing to it, but that's not the end of the world. That just wipes off. It's just barely anything to it. It's like dust is what it looks like. This won't give you that, and this is worth its weight. I think these are like $14. That's a winner for me. Buy books. You should go do a club and bring some girls. Oh yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I'm sure the wife would totally get on with that. You think I want to get a plane now? That would be like not happening, homeboy. Right now, she's pretty excited about the possibility of us flying a plane. Remember, I've taken her up now 3 times with me flying. She's been flying with me 3 times. I've took her up in a Piper Cherokee, and I've taken her up in the same Cessna twice now. If you saw Instagram. She's really pumped about us getting our own plane and all this drama and the world going away. So that way we can, once we have our own, we can take like weekend trips out of state. You know, if we want to go to Tennessee, she wants to go to Dollywood. She hasn't been there since she was a little girl. So I've already looked. There's an a little regional airport, literally about 5 miles down the road from Dollywood in Tennessee. I said, that's fine. We'll go fly to Dollywood. And she wants to do a bunch of adventures or just take the plane away on the weekend. So she's actually been pretty hyped. She's pushing me. She's helped me pay for flight school, but she also said that with a caveat, you better damn well finish and you better take this all the way to the airlines or I'll be pissed. So, of course, I'm not screwing around anyways, but it's been fun. Adams CS3, it's really sticky and glossy. I haven't used Adams in a while. I'll be real with you guys. Every time, AJ, that I tried Adams, and I put videos out for you guys with Adams, nobody watched them. They got very little views. I have, 32,000 subscribers. I'll give you an example. After a month, I might have 4,000 views. So where's the other 20-something thousand subscribers that are supposedly subscribed to see my videos? They didn't care about it. They didn't want to see it. So I just stopped buying this stuff because I'm like, there's good products, but they were overpriced for what they were. When they're on sales, like somebody said last live stream, good deal. But as a full price, a little overpriced. Use a sealant first and wax correct. You can do that. But once you have a sealant, you really don't need that much if you don't want to, buddy. Tom, Chad, what does your wife think about the Corona since she is a doctor? I think they're overhyping it. They're hyping it up. It's... Again, that breaks off into a whole nother topic, and I don't know if I want to bore the rest of my audience with that, because some people might feel one way. Some people might be, we need to hide for the rest of our lives and stick our head in the ground like an ostrich does. Me and her go out all the time. We don't wear gloves. We don't wear masks. We still wash our hands. She puts disinfectant on her hands when we get back in the car. Basic, everyday stuff. As a matter of fact, earlier this year, she had a really bad thing we thought was the flu. And now they're having the rumors out that, was it possibly that, not the flu? You know, that's starting to go around now. And now she's telling me they have tests for antibodies. So essentially, when you have something and your body gets over it, you have antibodies in your bloodstream. Okay, that would tell them if you've already had it or not. So now they're starting to do testing if they're going to do antibody testing. And they're looking for people that have already had it so they can get the antibodies and compare it. So, you know, we had guys at work that were out for almost 2 weeks straight saying they had the flu. And they just felt like crap the whole time and they just couldn't work. And for all we know, they could have had it. But have we changed our lifestyle any other than just we can't go anywhere like parks? We couldn't go on our cruise or anything. No, we just use our head. We always wash our hands, stuff like that. I mean, I'm the one that does the dishes every day anyway, so I'm always washing anyways. Chad, what made you get a GTR? Ken, that was my dream car since the late 2000s. I always wanted a GTR. I remember seeing all the videos on YouTube. I was a YouTube car guy. I still am. I love watch YouTube. Just like you guys are watching right now. I would always watch it. I would see that stuff and I'm like, man, oh God, I want to get these cars. These cars are blowing away Ferraris and Lambos. I would love to have it. And it's Japanese. You guys know me. I love my JDM cars. So I said, one day I'll get one. And the dream came true. The only reason I'm even considering putting this sucker up for sale in the next couple months is because I don't want to take a loan for a plane. I already have a loan for the Civic Type R. I do not want to take a second loan. I want one car, one payment, and be done with it. We did discuss, let's say if I don't have quite enough for the plane cash, that we would take maybe a $10,000 loan out or something, but nothing to the extent of like a $60,000 loan or anything. We just don't want to do that. Really hope the virus ends up going away because I'm bored. Yeah, I will. Either way, the world has to get back to normal. We can't just hide in a corner and expect our bills to be paid. We have to get back to work. We all can admit that. And so it will have to get back. And I'm thinking in the next couple of weeks, we'll probably see that, a couple weeks to the end of the month. I think GTR will probably be sold in the upper 50s is what I'll be going. Yes, I'll miss the GTR. You're darn right, Ken. That's a good thing to get something. I wish I had a bead maker. Bead maker is good. It smells good, but it does not last very long here. Especially in Florida, it lasts about a month before it's gone. And in my lazy self, and I'm sure most people out there, they don't want to have to keep applying it. You want to hit it one time and have it for month after month after month. And that's where these newer products, from Mother CMX or Turtle Wax ceramic spray, will easily last longer than that. And that's generally why I tend to go that way. DSL, I think it's direct service line. I think is what it stands for, but I might not be wrong. Either way, it's an old form of getting essentially cable internet into your house. DSL. Oh, not the internet. Oh, I'm not talking about the internet. Sorry, guys. Ever thought about the virus here? A lot of crime. I'm just going to keep scrolling. Just try and stay away from a lot of that topic too much. Just try the Turtle Wax products. Good, Pats. Good. I don't know which one you tried, but if it's the green one, for sure. Sorry, dude. Read the video description wrong. Thought you were traded up. Gotta watch it. No. Didn't read Yolani. No, I'm sure I'm like minutes behind all your questions, but I'm trying to answer everybody. One thing you'll find about me, guys, is I always try and address every single person in my live stream. I want to give you guys as much time as you can and just spend time with you guys. I don't care. Hang out. That's what we're doing. We're hanging out in the garage together. You guys can't be with me here. Even if there was a 6-foot rule, I wouldn't care. But this is what I want. I like this stuff. Card water. So there was a lot of water spots on this girl right here, as you guys might have seen when I first did a side-by-side and stuff. So not only was it swirled really bad, it had a lot of water spots. Obviously the polish knocked it all the way out. I would highly recommend some good polish. Colonite products. I have the H45 for the Colonite Pats, but I have not personally tried it on any of my cars. I think of getting some sort of defensive weapons because I'm Asian and people are actually assaulting me to the point. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I have a lot of guns, but yeah, if you can just get a pistol, you'll be fine. I love the Turtle Wax Max Power Car Wash in their Wax and Dry. Yes. There you go. So you guys got to see. If you saw the video today, Carlos, you saw I used Turtle Wax Max Power. When I washed the van, I used it at Max Power. I put like 10 ounces in it. It says 9 ounces or more in order to strip wax and sealants. So I put 10 ounces in, and that's what I used on this van to get it prepped. So I definitely use it all the time. Chad, I have an interesting news for you. I'm about to get my very first car. Cool. I've been watching you for years. I appreciate all the detailing knowledge you've given me out of, if you ever fly out of Phoenix, I would love to share you. I would love to swing by Gage. As a matter of fact, if you didn't know or you didn't follow us, last year we were actually in Phoenix. So we were in Scottsdale. So I guess it's like the rich kid area side of town. And Turtle Wax, of course, flew all the big YouTubers that they deal with on a basis out there for views and stuff. And they put us up in the fancy resort out there and stuff. I forgot, Mountain Shadows Resort or something like that. Really nice. Pretty cool place. And but that was the only time I've ever, other than like flying into Phoenix for like 2 minutes before we hopped on another plane. I would love to see that stuff, buddy. I guess you're a mechanic out there. Maybe maybe a sergeant or something like that. Master sergeant, maybe, I don't know. I have a lot of friends because of course I'm getting older. A lot of my friends are like E7s and E8s that are in the military. And then the other friends that went Army and stuff like that after ROTC, those guys are all at majors now, getting ready to pin lieutenant colonel in the next probably couple years. You're right about that, Aaron. The average person does not want to spend 10 plus hours detailing their car. You are 100% right. I think that's what a lot of these other channels forget about. And they have some stellar. I mean, there's some stellar high-end detailing channels. Let me tell you, I can agree with that. There are some. They know the tips and tricks and everything, but they're going beyond what the average Joe is ever going to try and ever going to do. But if you want to learn the tips and tricks, I highly suggest you check out those other channels. I have about $250 worth of Adams polishes offcoming. They're good products, a little overpriced. Thoughts on Tesla? So my neighbor actually right there owns a Tesla. It's black. I could have I actually have 2 black cars, but I don't talk to them, so I don't want to ask them to borrow their cars. They're nice, but they're not me. I'm not into electric cars. Do they use the math, Aaron? No, I don't think so. No, everything, they have calculators and stuff like that. Like my wife has the online thing on her phone that'll tells you, okay, if a person weighs is this much weight and this age, and then it says, okay, their dose should be this. That's how she does a lot of her calculations, because it's all online. One of those online sites that tells you, all right, it's a male, he's 35 years old, it was 165 pounds. All right, well, he should have this dosage. And that's basically what they pop in and do. They just go online to the website and check it. Air fresheners. I love the turtle wax ones. I like the McGuire's ones as well. I use both of them. The ones that, you leave the car running, put it on, recycle, and then, it looks like a bug bomb. You just push it on there. It works. That works out really good. I really like that one. I will admit it. I like Chemical Guys spray bottle ones, like the JDM squash scent. I like it. I'm good with it. They have a lot of great smelling car scents, and I wish more companies would put out some that you can just go to Walmart or wherever and pick them up. Someone offered you a mint MK4 Super Turbo with 50,000 miles. Probably, yeah, because it would be in the end, it's worth more money than the GTR, because those cars are skyrocketing in value. The GTRs are going down, but they're going down very slowly. Planes are another example. Planes go down in value, but they almost level off. All the planes I'm looking at are from the 60s or 70s, okay? Nothing earlier, because I can't afford it. These planes are still in mint condition, $50, $60, $70, $80,000. These are 40, 50-something-year-old planes, and they're still demanding this price. Planes just essentially they go down and they just kind of sit there. That's about it. As long as the plane's very decent shape, great paint on it, pretty good paint, good interior, all the avionics work really good. If it has bonus, it has like all the fancy new touchscreen, like GPS screens and all that stuff been added to it, because those are so expensive. But if the engine's been recently overhauled, it only has a couple hundred hours since the overhaul, you can bet your ass you're going to get 60 to 70 grand on a quality like a Mooney or a good Cherokee or something like that. You're going to spend 60 grand on it. That's just how it goes. What's up, 420? I don't speak Spanish. I don't know dip my suds. Did you get window protective when you were window protectant? Well, your Honda Civic. No, nothing like that was offered to me. The only thing that I bought was the wheel and tire package warranty, which I've already had to use twice, saved my bacon. That was like $450. And I bought the 10-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. So it's 10-year, 115,000 miles or 120,000 mile bumper-to-bumper. So even if a knob falls off, they're going to replace it. Yeah, it cost me $2,000, but I know for a fact that you get a couple of these parts broken, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Hondas are known to last forever. Yes, I get that, but I just don't like to take the chance. Hey, Chad, any great grades on the most ceramic wax durability on your cars? Right now, Gilbert, the only thing I have right now on, I would say like the Type R is getting rained. It got rained on today big time, and that thing is beating out of control. If you guys got to see the video when I tested out the yellow one here, the ceramic wet wax on it. If you guys got to see at the end of that video, I came back and I've layered this just for whatever, because I was going to do a little side by side and see what it was. After that was done, I layered the rest of the car with this. And let me tell you, that car is beating like crazy. It is gorgeous. I love the thin, tight beads. It's gorgeous. When was that video? 4 months ago? So it works really good. Longevity, no issues whatsoever. Tried the IK foamer. I have not. Taurus, yeah, for a cheap pistol, yeah, I have a bunch of Glocks. We have Smith & Wesson. We have not H&K. We have, not H&K. Geez, why can I not think of it? It might be H&K. No, it's not H&K. It's another German company, but I have that. We have one of those. We have a Gambit, but mostly I have a lot of Glocks. Drying aids, any recommendation? Chris, I was just using that yellow stuff. Usually when I'm doing a lot of my cars, I'll spray this on there. The ceramic wet wax is made for when the car is wet. Spray it all down, dry it off, so it helps repel a lot of the water, which makes it easier to dry the car. When you're doing it, you spray it on there and it just kind of pushes the water away. But it gives a nice little extra layer of protection or boost my stuff that I currently have on there. So that's generally what I've been using a lot lately. Is that your neighbor's van? Yes. If you haven't seen the video, go watch today's video. This is the neighbor's van. The only reason it's not outside is because I didn't get to finish it. Yesterday when I was using the polisher, the actual backing plate finally began to rip off. And I was like, oh crap. So I had to turn it off, put it away, and I put it back in the closet. Today I got the new backing plate in, so I'm probably going to knock it out tomorrow. But it was raining all day today, so I just kind of decided, nah, I'll just take it as a slow day today. And I didn't finish it off, but I will be finishing the rest of the van with the black polish. I'm going to do the whole thing. I want to make sure this thing looks gorgeous for her because she just done so much for our family. So I'm going to take really good care of her. She told me don't even worry about the interior of the van. She's like, I'm not worried. My husband was dirty. He didn't ever clean it up. Let me show you something. Does this look like a dirty van? She said, don't worry about the inside. She's like, my husband wasn't he didn't clean up the van that much. I'm like, there's nothing in it. What are you talking about? Look. There's nothing. So you go into my wife's van, and it's a dump. It's a dumpster, but that's just the way it is. I can smell the smoke. He was a big smoker. So I could definitely smell it just from opening the door. So I'd like to get that out for her, just kind of run one of those air things in it. But again, I don't know because I don't want to, she might be like, oh, my husband was in there and I don't want to take away the smell. I don't know. So I don't know if I'll do that. But at least I'm going to clean it down, wipe it down, maybe try one of those new interior products and go from there. Who do you follow on YouTube? Okay, so I usually watch a lot of car reviews from like Edmunds, Kelly Blue Book, Straight Pipes, Savage Geese. I'll watch a lot of those. I watch a couple airplane videos where they just go fly around and do stuff because obviously I'm in the flying thing now. I watch some video game channels like Angry Joe and a few others that I can mention, a few travel channels, and that's generally about it. I just don't have a lot of time between watching my son, going to work every day, and then doing, especially with the studying. I used to play a lot more games than I do now, a lot of video games, as a lot of people I'm sure here do, but when I really realized I needed to buckle down and study and get this flight stuff done, I had to cut out the video games. I cut it out cold turkey. I literally did not play anymore, and all I've been doing is worrying about getting this studying done. You spend so much money on it, so I decided not to. It cost $15,000 to get my private pilot's license. So it's not like it was a $50 video game. $15,000 was spent. That's a very nice condition used car. And so that's why I don't want to screw around. I don't want to mess around. You know what I mean? Snacks and Peppy. See, I actually have coffee right now, boss. I have coffee in here because I was a little tired. I asked a company about that, Aaron, about plane detailing products. They said they're good for planes, motorcycles, whatever. Other products can be used on anything. But I did ask that in the past. I'm like, about motorcycles and stuff, and they said it's good, whatever. I am not the biggest fan on newer Infinity products there, Cody. You didn't say right. Dip my suds, a girly voice. Oh, it's others. Oh, okay. Let me scroll through this. Where are you in the Army? Pats, I did Army ROTC at the University of West Florida. I tried to go in, but I waited for a year for them to get my medical straightened out. It was just a bunch of junk. Literally. So before your junior year in college, you have to go get your physical, and that way you can sign your, your whatever 6-year contract with the Army after college. And so I was waiting, and I'm like, okay, this is fine. So I went down with the rest of the people from ROTC down to the Navy base. We got our physical done, and then I just went about college like normal. Took my classes that semester. No big deal, whatever. We knock it out. And then everybody else got their contract about a month later from the Army, and they signed this 6-year thing, and I hadn't had mine yet. And there was 2 other guys that hadn't had theirs yet either. So about a month later, in October, the other guys got all theirs in, but I still haven't had mine. The ROTC command said, don't worry about Chad, you'll have it here in another month or 2. I'm sure they're really busy right now. They have every college in the United States sends it to Virginia, and they have to go through every college. So I'm like, okay, that's no big deal. And what ended up happening is January, February came around, and the colonel called me in. We had a lieutenant colonel. And he called me in and said, "Sit down, Chad. I want to talk to you." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, sir?" And I didn't say it like that. I said, "Yes, sir, whatever." And we just talked, and he told me somehow it got misplaced up in Virginia, so they requested it to be resent. So then they resent it to him, and then we get it back in February that they needed me to get my eyes checked because, of course, I wear contacts. No big deal. Went down, got my eyes checked again, and twice I was sent down there. Twice the eye doctor wasn't there. The third time they sent me to the Naval Hospital. Went down to the Navy base hospital and got it done. A month later, I get it back saying that they need me to go to a different type of eye specialist. I'm like, what the hell? So by then it was, I want to say it was March or something, and I'm like, so I told the lieutenant colonel and all of them, I said, look, I love you guys. I enjoy doing this, but I'm going to give you guys another 2 months to the end of the year. If it's still not straightened out, then I'm just going to withdraw out of the class. And basically that's what happened. At the end, I just withdrew because they still hadn't gotten my contract ready, and it was ready to be the summer. And I was like, I got better things to do with my life. My company sucks a lot of times, and they screw up paperwork, but they don't screw up this bad. This is retarded. Like my job will get your missing check within a day or two. No, next day or you that check to make sure you got your money. It's a different world, and I said I just don't want to do that anymore. So I withdrew out of the program at the very end. If the clean fuck woman complain about nothing, yeah, the van looks really good. How did he die? From all I understood was he had a lot of medical problems, and he died in his sleep. That's all I know. She went to wake him up, I guess, the next morning, and he was dead. So that's all I know. But he had lost so much weight. When I first met them, when we first moved here in 2012, he was probably 180 pounds, 200 pounds. When I last saw him and he was just sitting there watching TV and stuff and we were all talking, he might have been 110 pounds. He was skinny, very skinny. And he was still smoking up a storm. So we don't know if it was a heart attack or what happened, but they found him the next morning in bed and he was gone. Yeah, Dalton, that's never going to happen, man. Patel, if you can use an ozone machine, are you going to go ahead and kill the odor? I don't know, buddy. Again, that could be something that could be sentimental to her because it can remind her of her husband, and so I'm kind of like on the fence. Should I worry about trying to get the smoke out? Because if in fact it's kind of, you don't want to mess with somebody that just had a loss and that, be like throwing away this person's all his personal possessions and being like, what? He's gone. He's not here anymore. And, that could wreck that person. So I'm just going to make sure it looks beautiful. I'll vacuum out the inside, wipe down the dash and stuff, and I'm just going to leave it as is, the way it is. Thoughts on jet skis? They're fun for a little while, and I guess they get boring after a while. All right, I see you guys are all talking to each other. I'm sure I'm like minutes behind you guys, so bear with me, guys. I'm really trying to get through everybody. My buddy's girl complained about having any problems out of him. There were a lot of dead batteries after his quarantine. I don't know what we're talking about. Okay. Polish and compound to remove swirls. Okay, so what you want to do, wise guys, always do a test spot with a polish. Polish is not as aggressive as the compound. If you still seeing swirls after one pass, then do a test spot with the actual compound because the compound's a lot more aggressive. It's going to take out more. And if that knocks it out, then you can go to the compound first. A lot of people then will come back with actual polish to really make it look beautiful, maybe a jeweling polish to really make it pop and look good. But that's generally what you do. You do a test spot. Example, I did a test spot for you guys on here. Yeah, in the video, if you saw it today, I did just this front corner, and then the rest of it was left as is. You guys got to see it. And then we realized, hey, there were some swirls and stuff left and some light scratching and stuff like that because this thing really went through some bad times. And we got to check it out. Now, if it were my vehicle, which I will tell you, I went back later and did this, I would have brought back a compound to really knock it all the way down properly, and then I would have built it back up. So what I did off later for the hood, because the hood's going to be seen more than anything else, and that's what you see when you're walking by, I came back and brought back out a compound, 3D1 with a heavy-duty cutting pad, and not just an orange pad, but a heavy-duty one, and I came back into the entire hood. Let me tell you, probably about 95 or 97% of all the swirls are gone now. Absolutely gone. No hiding it, nothing. Because 3D1 doesn't actually have any fillers in it. It's just it's a hybrid compound of polish. Plus, I use that with a heavy cutting pad, and that's what I did on the hood. The rest of the van is still going to be normal with the regular orange pad and the black stuff, but because that's what everybody's going to be seeing, I figured why not make it the absolute best I possibly could. Who died? The owner of this van died. The lady's husband. The husband. That was the husband's van. Maserati, Mercedes-Benz, need advice. Mercedes. What truck do you recommend for get the new Hondas against the clogging grime and engine? I don't do anything with my Hondas. I don't have problems with stuff in my thing. I just got here, bro. No. So for you just to know what's going on, this van is our neighbor's van. It was her late husband's van. Her husband died 2 months ago. He died in his sleep. He had a lot of medical problems, so he just, so it's been sitting here. She went back to Illinois where she's from, and she's staying here. She's staying in her big house there, and her kids are, of course, helping her and stuff. And then she stayed up there after all this drama started blowing up. So the van is here. Her Mercedes is still in the garage. Their golf carts are still in the garage. They had everything. They golfed all the time. And so this was just sitting in their driveway. So I wrote her, I'm like, hey, would you mind if I borrowed your van? And I said, I don't know if you're even in Florida right now. And she said, I'm not, but our friends have access to the house, so I'll get you the keys. So they came and dropped the keys off, and I took the van. So I'm going to really make sure she's well taken care of. Most aggressive compound I've ever used, M105. That stuff is amazing. It makes a ton of dust, though. Yeah, you got to worry about the dust sometimes. So, Adam, I have a Grillo's Garage 6-inch DA polisher. Now, Grillo's Garage has since last summer came out with brand new polishers. They came out with a brand new, I forgot which one is a G8. I forgot which one it's called. Anywho, they came out with brand new ones. They're supposed to level up, but they're replacing the ones that I used in the video. But I love Grillo's Garage. Lifetime warranty on that thing. If the motor or anything breaks on it, they automatically will get you a new one. You send it in, they fix it, and they send it back, or they'll replace the whole thing. I love that about Grillo's. I've had that thing about 5 or 6 years now and never a single problem. The backing plate finally gave way on it, but that's because the backing plate, a little bit of foam and stuff. That's totally cool. Foam pads break down. We all know that. So I got a new foam pad backing plate today. So, but the machine works like a charm. Had it for all these years. Highly, highly recommend it. And it's only about $160. I mean, you can get it. You can get a badass flex one for like $400. You can get a massive Roops one. But for what I need, I don't need that much stuff, so I just don't worry about it. Let's try P&S Terminator enzyme remover. Best jeweling polish, ultimate polish. Ultimate polish. See, you're gonna get into the weeds there because I used a lot of different polishes, lots and lots and lots, and I don't know. I'll be real with you. I've used everything from even Chemical Guys. Chemical Guys has some of their lighter polishes and stuff, and I used that on the GTR and had no issues with it. It worked great. What else do I use? I love 3D1. So 3D1 is a hybrid 3D's polish. It's a polishing compound hybrid, okay? So it's a mix of both. Love it. That's what I used on the hood yesterday after I finished the video, and I realized, look, this thing is going to be in videos. I want this thing to be spotless because the hood is where everybody's going to see you when you walk by. So I came back with a high-end amount of cutting, and I brought in a hard cutting compound, and I knocked it all the way out. So I love that stuff. I can't believe you have a death fan. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, Cody. You're probably the one that's like, don't touch me, don't touch me. I mean, just like whatever. People live and people die. It's just the way life goes, Cody. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? I mean, you're probably living in a house that somebody owned before you that somebody died in, stuff like that. Oh, here comes my son. What do you want, buddy? Shut the door, and you have to be quiet. I can see my son coming out right now. Forgot to mention, you should make an engine bay cleaning. I have done a few, man. I have done a few in the past. I've used some degreasers. Try some of the Chemical Guys videos, degreaser video. Check out my Masterson's one, and you'll see. That's what I used in my stuff. I used a brush, and I covered up all the electrical equipment with like a Walmart plastic bag, and then I went to town on it. So definitely look at that right there. Gas direct fuel injectors. I'm telling you, I use Shell gasoline almost all the time, and I don't have any issues with my gas issues. Hi, buddy. Hi. What are you doing?
Can I go here?
Yes, but let me move my coffee cup. I don't want it getting knocked over. Go ahead. You can climb. He wants to climb the ladder. I've just been leaning against the ladder the whole time, so he wants to climb the ladder. Logan, you got your detail. Did you do it yourself, Logan, or did you pay somebody else to do it? I was wondering about that. How have you been? Scott doing pretty good, but pretty dang good. I wanted to go flying today, but it turned out to be a really rainy day, so I just was like, yeah, that ain't happening. Yesterday, I really wanted to make the videos and stuff for you guys. So yeah, you're getting tall. Now you're getting tall.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to make the video good for you guys yesterday, so I didn't go flying yesterday. But maybe this week, maybe I can get this guy out there to go flying with me this week. I don't know. A lot of times he gets up there, and the planes are not air conditioned, especially those little small planes are not air conditioned. So especially while you're still low to the ground, only like 2,000 feet off the ground or whatever, it gets pretty stinking hot in those planes, especially here in Florida. They're just baking. It's like getting into a car with no air conditioning. You guys know the feeling. It's the same way. Now, once you get above about 3,000, 4,000 feet, the temperature definitely starts to go down. And, then it feels a lot better. You have the vents in there open and it starts to cool down. I want my light on, buddy. You don't turn it off.
I want to climb up here.
Sorry, Too Mechanical. What's the best headlight restore? So I've used everything from McGuire's new lens. I've used the Turtle Wax stuff. What else have I used? Hey. You're cock blocking me right now, bro. I'm trying to watch videos, bro. Like, get out of the way. What are you gonna do? Go demand some donations? Give me money. Give me money. So, I've used, what else have I used that I really liked? The McGuire's one was really good. The McGuire's heavy duty one, I do remember that one. I loved that one a lot because it came with everything you needed. It comes with like Plastic X. It comes with everything you need. I recommend that. It's like a box set. Highly recommended. Good night, Chad. Keep up the work. Thanks so much, AJ, for stopping by. He's talking now. Yeah, he talks. Talk to everybody. Say hello.
Hello.
See, he talks. His English is really like broken up though, like when he talks, so we don't know if there's like a speech problem or anything like that, but he doesn't speak like me and you do. He's like, it's really, really choppy when he talks. So it's really weird. Like all the other kids in his class speak totally fine. So he's also the smallest kid in his class. There's only one girl that's about the same height as him. Everybody else is way taller than him. Use 88 octane. Jesus, that's like 87 is the lowest. Any mechanical workstations for undercarriages. I honestly don't mess with the undercarriages here. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about that here in Florida. We don't have the salt issue unless you can live near the beach. I know that I want to say it's Griot's Garage, or one of them actually has some products that you put underneath there. Can you do a video of the best retail products? I've just come out to find out some GM dealers carry Adams products. I have done some in the past. If you have any direct questions for me, like products that come over the counter, you can feel free to. Let me make sure he's not going anywhere he shouldn't be. All right, he's going in the house. If you have any questions directly, feel free to write me here. You can write me on Instagram. You can write me on Facebook, wherever you want to find me, buddy. So pilot's license does not have an expiration date. So Aaron, once you get your pilot's license, as long as you maintain your proficiency, so every 2 years you have to get retested just by an instructor riding with you. That's totally fine, as well as you have to keep up your medical. Kind of like a semi-driver has to get a DOT physical. A plane has to get a physical as well, a pilot. So that's basically all you gotta do is keep that up. Once you have it, you have it. You permanently have your license. Kind of like when you're drive your car. Once you get your car license, you always have it. He couldn't walk, man. You've been here a while, man. He wants to be a co-host. Stream like dad. I could do much better. Now he speaks and climbs ladders. Yes, he does. For letting your kid climbing a ladder. Oh, yeah, I let my son do a lot more. You're going to find out with me, guys. I'm not a helicopter, what we like to call a helicopter parent that sits there. What it is, basically, like, oh, no, Johnny. Oh, don't do that, Johnny. No, Johnny, don't do this. No, don't do that. I wasn't raised that way, and I survived. Millions of people for thousands of years have been totally fine without those nagging parents that are like that. You know which ones I'm talking about. No, don't do that. He can't do that. Well, that would be bad for him. No, he's got to learn. He's got to get out there and do it. So you're not going to see me doing that. If we know it's dangerous, then obviously we're not dumbasses. We keep them away. But other than that, I mean, I want him to explore and grow up and be normal, not have to worry about stuff like that. Yeah. His driving test. Yeah, for sure. I let him get on the motorcycle with me, the Grom especially, and I let him ride around the neighborhood with me all the time. And I've even let him begin to work the throttle on it. So, I'll keep my hands next to it like this, but I'll say, okay, just barely turn it. We're going around the neighborhood, we're only doing like 10 miles an hour. And I let him know that this is for the gas, and then this is the brake. And basically that's how we do it. That way he can kind of get used to stuff. Have you seen plane prices fall? Not yet, Adam. Trust me, I look all the time. All the time. And that's what me and my wife talked about. I was like, if it comes to a point where we just find a deal that's too good to be true, we might just want to take a loan out for it. Even though loans are starting to get harder to get because of the issue that's going on right now with all the closures, that banks are really scared to loan right now, as they should be, because you don't know. Let's say right now they said it's anywhere from between 20 and 30% of people have no job. Think about that. You're risking a lot of time, and like, is this guy going to make the payment and stuff? So a lot of people they're tightening up the credit a lot more. You know how much credit line you have, because if we have this huge credit line and you can't pay it back, then we're stuck on the hook for that much money. So I don't know. We'll see if it gets to a good deal, too good to be true, and I haven't sold the GTR yet. We might take a loan out. Because renting a plane, here's how it works. I buy block time, so I buy like 12 hours at a time. 12 flying hours, so flight hours, and it cost me $1,400. So we'll usually do that once, twice a month. That's how it is. To training, it can sometimes even more than that. And so, as you can imagine, a plane payment is nowhere near that kind of money. Usually they'll give you loans up to like 20 years on those planes too. So it's like, maybe I'll take a 10-year loan. That's it. Keep the payment around $600 a month, and that's still cheaper than renting a plane. And it's mine. I can fly tons and tons of hours. I'm not limited to, sir, you only get 12 hours of this block time with this $1,400 you just gave us. So that's a plus. I would like a lot of light swirls marks on my truck paint. Looks like it could be car wash. Yes. Truck deer swirl marks. Polish. Try the 3D one. 3D one. I personally have not tried their turtle waxes polish. Well, where is it at? It's somewhere in here. Let me move this crap out of my way. Get out of the way. So I haven't tried their new ceramic polish and wax, but I will tell you that I've used 3D's car care. I can order online. You can get it on Amazon. 3D car care. It's called 3D One. Absolutely stellar. It is great. It's a hybrid compound and polish. That'll do everything you need and some. Okay, there's no wax built in. There's none of that kind of stuff or anything. Nathan, stay inside or stay outside, please. Then shut the door. See, that's the problem. He'll keep coming in and out, in and out. My mom kind of like that. Dad never hit me because he was never there, okay? Back in the day, kids could learn how to shoot a gun. Now parents make a deal about it. Nathan, you got to be a little quiet, okay? Also, thanks. I just hearing others' opinions. Your videos are pretty entertaining. Thanks so much, Justin. I will tell you, God, I wish I could tell you guys some stuff, and I can't tell you these things right now. You'll know soon enough. That's all I can tell you. But I watch other people's videos, okay? I just see clips of people's videos. Their stuff looks so boring. Oh my God, I fall asleep watching it. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy it. We're taking care of our cars that we spend so much money on. Let's have fun while we're hanging out here doing it. So I like to enjoy things and goof off with it. Talk like somebody, a regular person is, if we're both working on the car in the garage, just shooting the shit all day long. That's the way I see it. And that's what I kind of do with you guys. And I always want to be that way, because being all up stiff and tight and stuff and getting into details, that can be boring as hell. Let's keep it fun so that you're entertained as well as you want to watch it some more. You know what I mean? Money's a factor. Plane-wise, I love the Moonies. I'm going to probably buy a Moonie. The Bonanzas are also really cool. They're the ones with like the V-tail on the back that come out. It's really sick. But that's probably a little too much of a plane for me right now with my lower hours. I've flown a Moonie and I fly it just fine. It's a badass plane. Like literally, you barely turn it, and the controls are direct rod controls versus wires running back and forth. So as soon as you move it, because it's direct controls, the plane goes like this. It's nuts, dude. It's like driving it on knife edge almost. Like it's like you barely turn it, nope, you're gone. It's wild how fast that thing is and how quick it turns. So that's the plane I'm actually looking at buying. Haven't been on the channel for a little while. Scott, you're always welcome to come by, man. I had to finish out my private pilot's license, and that's generally what I did. Is it flying a helicopter the same as flying? It's totally different. Totally different. You have to worry about the cyclic and the controls and having to hover it and keep it in place. You don't do that with a plane. You just got to keep the plane moving, and it's just going to have air, flowing over the wings, and it just naturally takes off. Nathan, shh. Be quiet or go inside. He's making all kinds of noises and stuff. Thought about flying a C-17. Those things are big. I've seen those things fly over before, but that's all military stuff. And I don't have 20/20 vision, and I wear contacts. Bet your tail, though, if I had 20/20 vision, I would have gone to the Naval Academy, or I would have applied to the Air Force Academy when I was younger. because I had the straight A's in school, so I wanted to always be a pilot. So it's Nathan, be quiet. Do you understand me? Dad or go inside, one of the two. Planes so expensive and cars are not. Planes are very expensive to get into. They're very expensive to maintain. Every year they have to go through an annual from a mechanic that is actually certified by the FAA. Sorry, this break is brought to you by Nathan. This is our detailing break, and we're dealing with you from Nathan. All right, back to the shows. So every year you have to have the plane fully annualed, and I'll give you another example. Let's say you hit around 2,000 hours is about what you have on the engine before you have to have it fully overhauled, and that overhaul can run anywhere up to $15,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 depending on the type of engine you have. That's a lot of money, and and that's not like you're getting a brand new plane. It's just like getting essentially a brand new engine. That's how much it costs. So it's not cheap. Everything is a nickel and dime the hell out of you. Again, like a front tire in a car would cost us what, $100? On a plane, about $500 for one that's installed on a front engine, a front of plane, and it's way smaller diameter. Everything is way more money on a plane. Ridiculously more money. Everything has to meet all the FAA minimums and everything because whatever. They don't want planes falling out of the sky. I have flown, I think around 112 hours right now, about 112 hours of flight time. In order to be an airline captain or airline pilot, period, a first officer to apply, you have to have 1,500 hours. If you want to be, most cargo airlines that fly the little smaller turboprop ones that'll fly for you around, they usually ask somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 to 700 hours. Plus, you have to have your commercial license and instrument rating. I'm working on my instrument right now. I think I've done well over half of the actual online ground school now. I can see where it's starting to like tail off and it's not near as many lessons left. So that's good. It's not as heavy as it was. When it first started, it was so intensive, like just this. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so much. So I can only watch maybe 3 or 4 lessons a day. And I was like, I'm burnt out. Too much info. But yeah, that's what's going on. And so I don't know. My son's screaming. I can hear him. Let me go check on my son, guys. My wife's in there, but I can just hear him screaming through the doors. What's wrong with you, Nathan? Nothing? Okay, whatever. Don't know why he's screaming outside. He's not hurt. He was just yelling. Sorry, guys. Don't mean to run away. Time to invest some stocks, bro. A lot of Delta and American. Yeah, we were already looking at that for cruise line stock because cruise lines are really hit hard right now. They're down to like 15-20% of their value that was just a month ago. So yeah, it is a good time to invest because we know this stuff's going to be over in a month or so, and then you're going to see stocks come back up. It might take a year, it might take 2 years, but we know these stocks are going to go right back to where they once were just a month and a half ago. So yeah, this is a very good time to invest if you have the extra cash. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Dream car. I already had a dream car. I got the GTR. There's nothing else I want. You know what I mean? Now that I'm looking to buy my own airplane, I'm not looking at dream cars anymore. Water stains off paints. Just get a polish. That's all you need, brother. Just a good polish and you'll knock it out. You should buy a small jet. A little bit more money than I'm willing to expect. And then you have to get type rated. You have to get type rated. So once you get to the bigger planes, you have to have type rated. So you have to be certified to fly that plane. So you have to know all the ins and outs of every single plane. And you have to be able to do all the emergency procedures and blah, blah, blah. You can understand how that's more money. So most of the time what you do is you just get your ATP, you get all your commercial license, all your hours. And then once you get to the airline, they pay for all of your training. They have their own training staff, they have their own simulators, and they train you in exactly what plane you're going to fly. So you get your rating in the plane and you don't have to pay for it because they're footing the entire bill for it. Best waxes that you can pick up at Walmart. Right now, I would tell you either, where is it at? Jeez Louise. This stuff right here, ceramic spray wax, all day long. I would tell you Mother CMX. I just saw that they have sell CMX now at Walmart. 2 thumbs up for Walmart for that. I haven't tried McGuire's new ceramic stuff. I have it over here, the one that comes in the bottle that's like a neon yellow. Haven't tried it. Wasn't a big fan of their ceramic spray wax. That stuff did not last here in Florida. Some people will argue with me to the hilt, but when I try and make these videos, I do it to tell you the truth. as a Floridian, when we deal with 90 and 100-degree days and a lot of humidity here, that wax just melted off and it didn't last for more than a month on my wife's minivan. My wife's minivan does not park outside every day. I'm sorry, it does park outside every day, and so it has no shade and protection, and it just melted away. It was terrible. I would not recommend it. It comes in a blue bottle of spray stuff. I had a lot of people say they agreed with me. A lot of people wanted to fight me for it because, dear God, I'm talking bad about Meguiar's, but that's the results I had. I tested it more than once, and that's the results I had. The same with the Chemical Guys ceramic spray shit for like $55. Thank God I had subscribers who donated to me to help me buy that crap, but it didn't last me more than 2 weeks. It was a horrible product. After 2 weeks, it was already worn off. But that's why I do these videos, to give you real timelines. Hey man, I'm spending my own money, and if it doesn't work and it sucks, you better get ready, because I'm going to put you on blast how bad it was. So far, these products, the ceramic CMX from Mothers or the spray wax ceramics from Turtle Wax, they last for month and month and month and month and no issues whatsoever. That's what I want to see. I've seen a few of his, Aaron, about Casey Neistat, but I'm not really interested in all the rest of his videos. For the most part, I've watched a few of his stuff, maybe a couple of camera reviews, but that's generally about it. Would you be nervous if you had to fly at 8380? Would I be nervous? I wouldn't know how to work all the systems. I'll tell you that, because of course I've never been trained. But I know how they just have to put in like their heading, all the waypoints, etc. It's essentially the same. You put in all where your destination, your waypoints, whatever you want to go to. You put in your channel to talk to ground before you take off. You get your stuff, and then you go roll up to the runway, and then before you get on the runway, you should go over the channel for the tower. So now you're talking to the tower, and the tower is going to give you the clearance to go ahead and take off. Once you take off, then you'll switch to the air traffic control for the whole area of that state. And then they'll keep an eye on you, and they're going to guide you along the way. And they're going to tell you where they want you the whole time, especially because all airlines are running on instrument ratings. So they're guiding you to this waypoint, to this place, to this place. So they'll just say fly direct to. Other than that, I mean, a plane's a plane for the most part. From all the videos I see, you still have their regular yoke. You have your power, et cetera, et cetera. You have to learn how to handle like multi-engine and stuff, but for the most part, you still have your attitude indicator, all that stuff, turn coordinator, you have your compass, and, all that stuff is essentially still there. It might be on a glass touchscreen, but it's still the same stuff. Who's your favorite type for your Honda favorite tire? I still have the Continental, whatever they gave us for there, you know what I mean? Would you want to fly a company job? I would rather fly personally for commercial airlines. As growing up as a kid, I used to go to the airport all the time, and I loved to see the people walk around. I loved to get to see the captains and the first officers walk around. You know how you're walking down like the halls, the terminals, and you see like, okay, gate A1 is going here, but gate A2 is going all the way over here, and they're going different directions. Gate 3, I loved that. For some reason, it intrigued me more than you can ever know to see this stuff, and they're going all over the United States or even the world. And I'm like, man, that'd be so cool to be a pilot and do that stuff in the future. But I was always under the told that if you weren't a military pilot, you could not fly for an airline. And then I was also told, obviously I knew that, because you didn't have 20/20 vision, you can't be a military pilot. So why are you wasting your time dreaming about being a pilot? I did not find it out till much later that they do in fact hire people with glasses or contacts, and it doesn't matter. And you don't have to be ex-military. As a matter of fact, before this drama in the world going on, they were so desperate for pilots. The airlines are now starting to do what they call cadet programs and ambassador programs, where you'll get in their system and they'll help pay for some of your stuff or whatever. They'll connect you with stuff, and they'll guarantee you a job if you sign up for them now, because that way they know, hey, in 2 years from now, I'm going to have pilots. I'm going to have this seat filled that I need for pilots. They were getting so bad. You had all the old people retiring, the old baby boomers were retiring, but at the same time, these airlines were trying to expand. So you're having a massive gap. Not only are you trying to fill all the retirees, but you're also trying to expand. So now you need pilots to fill those new routes. So it was getting very crazy. So I wish I would have known as a young man, but I was told things wrong my entire life. And, that's just sad. I probably would have had a whole different thing. I would have probably been an airline captain by now, but you don't know. And people telling the wrong things is what will get you in trouble. because you learn about that, and that could be in life on anything, you know. So one thing I can do, because I did create a YouTube channel for that, for flying. I'm gonna be putting up a lot of just fun videos flying around the state of Florida or out in the South, wherever I go, is to inform people that just because you have this, that, or the other, as long as you pass the medical, come on, you don't need to be a military pilot, you don't need to be all that stuff. Just get your license, go out there and get it done. They're desperate for pilots, and just show off the joys of flying. So we'll see. Little Piper Cub. No, because a Piper Cub only has 2 seats. Now, I began my flight training on a Citabria, which is a acrobatic airplane. It's a tail wheel, so I have my tail wheel endorsement, so I can definitely fly it. But there it is. The last McGuire ceramic spray wax, longer than drier climate. Maybe so, but here in Florida, it just didn't work. And that's why I always said that in my reviews. I'm like, look, I'm in Florida. It's like 96 degrees. It does not last. And it didn't. It was terrible. It sucked. Grew up in PA in 6 or 7 months. Notice the zombie, deer disease, and okay. Where's your face mask and gloves? I don't need no damn face mask and gloves. I'm a man. I clean my hands like you're supposed to do. Have you seen the people yet with the respirator things on each side, like they're actually like sanding or anything like that? I've seen those people now. I'm like, holy shit, dude, really? So it's pretty wild. How difficult is it the place to learn to land an airplane? By the second time I went up, my instructor let me kind of take the controls, and he said, oh, I'm going to take the controls once we get down there. So I'm going to let you fly it as long as you can, and then I'll take over at the end. Do you know I put the wheels on the ground the second time I went flying? The second time, it was not a good landing, because it was a tail wheel. So the front landed, and then it immediately went like jerked off left to the runway because it wasn't a tricycle gear plane. But I got it on the ground by myself on my second thing. The landing is definitely the hardest part. You've got to set your speeds. If you're too fast, you're going to go way down the runway. If you go too slow, essentially you're going to drop out of the sky because you don't have enough wind going over the wings, and we can imagine what happens then. You don't have enough lift, and it'll just drop. So a lot of people die in these situations. They're coming into land, they get the plane way too slow, so it doesn't have enough wind going over it to create lift, and the plane just drops out of the sky. So you got to be very careful. As a matter of fact, he said, I'd rather see you 5 to 10 over the speed where you should be than be 5 to 10 underneath the speed, because that's when it gets really dangerous. Hell, I'd rather see you float to the end of the runway and just, have a long rollout than I'd rather see you drop out of the sky. So that's where a lot of people actually have some problems. And of course, we cause many fatalities. And because accidents like that, they get way, way too slow, or they come in, you're supposed to line up on the runway. They come in like this to line up on the runway, and then they overshoot it like this, and then they're like, shit, I've got to come all the way back to the line. And then they turn it too hard, and it drops them into a nice spin, and then they're gone. They die. So it's like, okay, you fuck up that bad way off, just go around and do it again. Get back in the traffic pattern and do it again. Tell the traffic controller, hey, I'm gonna go around. No problem. Power back in, just go back around and get back in the traffic pattern and try again next time. But don't try and force the plane to get in there. You know what I mean? What's up, Juan? How you doing, buddy? I never listened to the CDC. I got a few gloves and masks today. Yeah, I'll tell you what. When I clay barred the van, so I did use the Griot's Garage yellow clay bar when I used this. I actually broke out some gloves because that clay is so soft and so sticky that it'll stick to your hands, gets under your fingernails and stuff like that. So I did actually break out the gloves, and I went over the entire van with the clay bar. So I know exactly what you're coming from. But other than that, I don't wear gloves. I work in the shipping industry. I wash my hands, okay? That's general knowledge. I mean, what are you doing? Like, you wiping your ass and then, putting your hands in your mouth? It's just, I don't know, man. I wash dishes, take care of my son. It's just normal. So, yeah, I haven't done anything. YouTuber, I watch a lot of car channels and stuff, as we talked about earlier, Bobby. I talked about, like, the straight pipes, a lot of car reviews from, like, Kelly Blue Book, Edmonds. Who else do I watch for car reviews? Motor Week. I watch some video game people like Angry Joe and some others. A couple cruise stuff. Like I like the Smithsonian channel. I'm subscribed to them. A couple pilot stuff. I'm subscribed to a couple pilots, obviously, because that kind of interests me. But that's generally about it. What's up, PBJ? How you doing, man? What's your dream company you want to be with? I don't know, brother, because what I was saying earlier is I want to fly for a passenger airline. but I don't know if there's one passenger airline or the other that I would be interested in flying for. Um, I just want to be a passenger airline pilot. I do not really care one way or another. I just don't know. You know what I mean? I've flown JetBlue, flow Southwest. As a matter of fact, the GTR Club. Three of the guys that are in the GTR Club are captains of airlines, just in Central Florida, by the way. This is Central Florida GTR Club. The head guy sold his. He is a captain of Southwest. What else is there? One of the pilots is a captain of JetBlue, and then the other one that's been helping me out is a captain of FedEx. So he's out of St. Petersburg, Florida, and he's a pilot for FedEx. So, and he talks to me a lot about flying and being a pilot and stuff because he did the Navy for like 20, 22 years or something like that. Retired as a commander, and he told me sell the car, buy a plane. You have to build your hours. So if you want to be a pilot, you need to sacrifice something, and you need to sacrifice a GTR, let it go, and then just be once you're at our level as a pilot making the big money, then you can go and buy another GTR, but sacrifice for a couple years. You don't drive the car that much anyway, so let the GTR go, and then down the road we'll get another GTR. And so he's been a good voice to talk to, very good voice of reason. Obviously he's older than me by probably about 10 years, but it's good to always have somebody that can ground you. You know, I knew that was the right decision, but it's good hearing it to somebody, that another person that you can talk to and ask, and you know that like they're not going to BS you or anything like that. He owns a GTR, so he's not trying to say just get rid of that damn car. He knows what the GTR is all about. So, and he's currently a pilot, obviously, so it's like he knows what he's talking about. So that's good to hear that kind of stuff. The second thing that the pilot would never tell you to the public. There is a lot of things that they don't tell you to the public. I don't know. I don't know if they would tell you anything. Like it's just like driving a car or driving a semi truck. There's really it's just it's all the money it costs to get into it. Again, I spent 15,000 to get my private license. Um, instruments supposed to cost around another 10,000 more. Commercial, another 10,000 more to get my commercial license. I'm gonna do that later on this summer. If you want to be an instructor, that can be another $10,000 to get your instructor license, so you can teach others how to fly. I mean, you see how quickly it builds up. And then you have to figure out, well, how am I going to get to 1,500 hours? I'm an instructor myself and I teach people, so that's one way to build your hours. Or do I buy my own plane? That's obviously another way you could do it. Or you can fly for one of these little cargo planes that you fly for, the little turboprop planes, and you fly cargo around the states. And you only have to have like a minimum of 500 hours to start signing up for that, 500 to 700 hours. So a lot of guys will fly those little cargo lines for a year or two, get all their hours they need. They go over 1,500 hours and they immediately get their ATP, and then they immediately go straight to the airlines. So some people do it that way. There's many different routes you can take, but you still have to get there, which is why my friend said, look, you want to get to the airlines like me, you're going to have to get a plane. He's like, unless you want to instruct the whole time. He's like, sell the car, get a plane, build your hours, fly every single day, fly a couple hours every single day. So that's the fastest way to build your hours. And I'm like, yeah, I definitely understand. Hi, friend. What do you think about Sonax wax? Sonax, I have not tried their wax. I've tried their car wash and stuff. It's a German company, for anybody who doesn't know Sonax is. Never had any issues with Sonax. From a couple products I've tried their tire gel and stuff. Very good products. A little harder to get. I had to buy them from AutoGeek's website. So I go to autogeek.com. It's a big detailer company that has all the different types of products on there, and that's where I bought mine. It's good products, but a little bit harder to get here in the United States. I'm sure it is in Mexico as well because it's a German company. So you have to go to an online site that is a distributor in the United States or wherever. And I generally go to AutoGeek, which is the distributor I use all the time. Were you scared when flying, like taking up? You mean taking off? The worst scares I've had are when the turbulence is bad. So here in Florida, as you guys know, it gets very, very hot, which means we got a lot of thermals and you get the big puffy white clouds. If you're going to fly anywhere near those bad boys, you're going to expect a lot of turbulence. Okay, those little planes are 1,500 pounds. They get bumped around like crazy. And you'll just be there and it'll just like, it just jumps around, or like it'll go left or right on you. And that'll freak you out a little bit. You slowly start building your thing. Like I went flying last week. I got bumped around a bit. It gave me a little bit of a nervous scare, but my wife, you could tell, was a lot more scared because she wasn't used to that in the small planes and stuff. So, but she just kind of handled it on her own and stuff like that. But I told her, I said, this is what happens on these hot days, and it's only going to get worse here in Florida as the summer goes on.
as it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, you fly through these thermals. Like during the winter here, when you're rolling down in like the 60s and 70s every day, it's calm, smooth skies. But if you're, especially if you're flying underneath the clouds, oh my God, you'll be like in and out of the clouds, going underneath them, and then boom, 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 it'll be like this, and then you get out, and then it'll just drop, like doing this again, maybe jerk around some. That'll give you a little bit of a fright. But taking off, no, just taking off, all it is just full throttle. Check your gauges. Make sure your gauges are all still in the green. There's like a green section. You make sure the needles are in the green, and then you just make sure that your airspeed indicator is actually moving, and you just kind of watch the indicator until you hit like 65, and then once that, you just slowly pull back, and the plane just whoop, and that's all there about is to it. I mean, it's a lot easier than people think it is taking off. You wait. You're like, okay, push the throttle all the way forward to the wall. You're basically maxing it out the whole time. Then you're like, all right, check my gauges. Am I good? Good. All right, just keep it coming down the center line now. Just make sure like looking for your speed. Maybe, okay, I'm at 65, and I just slowly pull up, and the plane just goes, and that's all there is to it. So is that scary? No. The worst one I ever had, we had some really, really wicked winds, and me and my instructor were going up to Georgia. So, but dude, that was pretty wild taking off. I mean, that was yanking. The turbulence was so bad that freaked me out a bit. So once I got going, I'm like, here, you take it for a minute. I'm going to grab water. And he's like, all right, sounds good. And then he took it. And he's like, whoa, it's really bumpy today. And I was like, yeah, it is. But I tried to keep my cool, and I was like, it's no big deal. Where's the Grom? The Grom's inside the house right now, Lexman. This guy has a jet in his driveway. No. Did you get a notification? My phone's on silent, and I did a loud ding. My phone's on silent as well. I wonder if you feel how it feels to fly and then drive, but the GTR is fast. GTR is very fast, but planes are much faster. And it's weird because when you're up there, you don't realize how fast you're going. Even a Cessna, you're doing like 105, 110 miles an hour. But when you're up a couple thousand feet, it just looks like you're crawling across the ground. I mean, it doesn't really look like you're going fast at all. The fastest I've been in those prop planes are like 160, 170 miles an hour, and those things it was cooking, but we had a nice tailwind on us. And then you're like, damn, now we're moving, and you can get places a lot faster. Remember, you don't have to deal with red lights, you don't have to deal with traffic, nothing. You're just up there by yourself, and you're going in a straight line for the most part, unless there's like a restricted area that you can't go in. Like there's one north of Orlando, kind of near Daytona. So you had to, when we went to St. Augustine last week, you had to kind of go, you bend yourself around it, you just keep going around it. But because it's for like military training and stuff like that, so it's like a restricted airspace unless you found out you're okay. But basically, if it's restricted on the minimap, just stay the hell away from it. Just kind of go around it like a roadblock, and you just keep on going. Don't fly Spirit Airlines. I don't know. I've never been on them before. There's a news a long time ago. One pilot crashed because they were switching Imperial metric. I think it's Canada or something. Oh, I don't know, man. Most air gauges, most like speedos on the gauges, we'll just call them speedos, airspeed indicators are all in knots. Now, some of them, the older planes will have miles per hour as well, and they'll have knots on the inside. Kind of like here in the United States, we have a miles per hour on the outside, and inside is the kilometers per hour. It's kind of the same thing. But so as long as you set your mind to, I only look at knots the whole time, then you just get used to it. I haven't been yet. I've been through most of Europe. I would still like to see more of Europe. Obviously not right now. I'm just gonna let it all die down. We were supposed to go to Europe this summer, but we're like, nah, let's wait on that. I would like to see Japan. Japan always is beautiful. Love to see that. I would like to go to like New Zealand, Australia one day. I would like to go to South America one day. I know there are some cruise ships that actually they sail out of like Argentina, and then they go around the Horn, and they'll actually go right next to Antarctica, so just pretty badass. And then it comes up and into Chile and parks by Chile. So that's one of the ones we've also looked at as well for like this coming year. What car are you driving the most these days? Lately I've been driving the old Honda White Prelude. The White Prelude is great because it's not that hot right now. The temperature goes up and down, so I just roll the windows down and I just take off and drive the white car. As a matter of fact, I had somebody give me thumbs up the other day because they love the car so much. Because, it's like a retro car. How many old Preludes from, 30 years ago are you seeing on the road? They're just rare. What's your favorite drying towel? I use either Griot's Garage waffle leaf towels. I'll show you one of them right now. This bad boy, this giant bad boy, or I have a couple Chemical Guys ones. So I have 2 Griot's Garage and I have 3 Chemical Guys ones. I find the Griot's Garage is a little bit bigger. It has little cup holes to it for your hands to hold on to, but I don't have any issues with chemical guys drying towels. I tried McGuire's Gold Class with a foam cannon power washer, and already literally no dirt came off. No, so Dom. With foam cannon is not going to get all the dirt off. Okay, people usually are very. I made this video a couple of years ago. People think that just because they put foam on their cars, the dirt is not going to come off. And so I did the test. I showed everybody. I put it in a foam can. I loaded the car up with some of the best foam cannon products I had, and then I just rinsed it off. Didn't try and dry it off, nothing. And then I took my hand and I wiped it down the side of the car. Pulled up my hands and they were still black. Foam cannon is going to get a lot of the loose dirt off. It's going to free up a lot of the dirt, but it's not going to get it all off. You're still going to have to hand wash it, okay? It's just one more way to loosen up the dirt without having to put your hands on it, which could eventually cause swirls or any scratches. The less you touch your paint, the better. So, but generally, I even though I love detailers, like the detailer here, for an example, I don't generally use it that much on the paint unless it is like a bug or tar, just whatever, you know what I mean, or bird poop on it, etc., etc. That's about the only time I use it on the car's paint, because the more you touch it, the more chances you have to get scratches on it. So what I'll do is, like, especially if bird poop hits the thing, I'll soak the crap out of it with that stuff. I'll soak it where it basically is almost falling off, and then I lightly come back with a microfiber. But if it's dirty and dusty, I just wash the car. I don't try and use the waterless wash. I don't try and use detailer. I will just wash the car because I want to give it as much lubrication as possible, and I do not want to cause any swirls because it's a pain having to whip the stuff out and spend hours getting I'd rather not, but that's generally me. What wax you gonna throw on the plane? I don't know yet. Obviously, I gotta buy a plane first, brother. And then, half the planes I look at, the paint, especially for like trainer planes, the paint is straight out of 1970s. So it is faded to death. It's flaking off. It's just garbage. Like the mechanical side of it, obviously every year it has to go through an annual. And the mechanics don't pay attention. If its paint's flaking off, who cares? If the paint's faded, who cares? As long as it's structurally airworthy and all the parts are there and the engine's in good shape, a lot of people just don't care because they just want to go fly. They don't really care. But me, on the other hand, I want to play with some nice paint. So we'll definitely see what happens. You know what I mean? If it was mine, I would probably truly consider ceramic coating it. Doing it right, ceramic coating it, having it polished and do it right, because, you'll see on the plane wings, they'll be completely covered in like bugs and stuff like that because they're constantly taking damage. So I'd probably slap 2 layers of ceramic coating on there, and really, really help out with like the bugs and stuff, especially around the engine cowl. Like, let's just say this is the engine cowl where the propeller connects to. Right here around this area where your intake would be, this area gets rock chipped up so bad, and the bugs just tear it up. You'll see so much paint missing in that area. How or where did you apply to become an air pilot? If you want to get your pilot's license, just go on Google search. Find some local flight schools in your area. Ask to go up for what they call a discovery flight. So they take you up for a flight. You pay like $100. You get to go fly the plane. Essentially, they let you fly the plane for about an hour and let you do all the work for the most part. And that's it. And then if you like it, then you can decide, hey, I want to go ahead and schedule to sit down with an instructor and start having them teach me. And that's generally what I did. I just went down and I went to a World War II museum. They call it Warbird Adventures. So they have a T-6 Texan. They have a P-40 Warhawk that can take you up in. But they also have the Citabria, the tailwheel trainer. So anytime they're not flying the World War II planes, you can go up with the instructor there. And that's how I started out my whole flying thing. I was actually going to go to a different school, and then I went over there, and they were like, oh, we'll take you up in our Citabria. I'm like, what? You have it? They're like, yeah, we fly. We teach you how to fly. We just generally don't specialize in that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's how I started mine. But that's all there is to it. It's as long as you have the money, it's just like going to community college. Come on in, welcome. You pay at your rate. So if you can only do it once a week, once every 2 weeks, hey, that's up to you. It's going to take you longer, but that's the way it goes. This video on what happened if you fly in a presidential area, pretty interesting. Yeah, I have no plans on that. It pops up there's an app that we all use for like a GPS called ForeFlight on your iPad. Whenever like the president's down there in Mar-a-Lago and West Palm, there's a huge like orange and yellow area just sitting there, and it's all like red line around it. And unless you have the clearance and then they've built the know how to get in there properly, you do not go in there. You just fly around that giant area. It's like a 20-mile exclusion radius or whatever. You just stay away from it. Obviously, airline pilots have to fly into like Washington D.C. and stuff, but they usually have to have this special training so they know how to do it. Thanks a ton. I've already ordered a mint and towels and stuff for Washington. I'm super pumped, and I've learned too much. I appreciate it. I will tell everybody I'm an average Joe who works a regular job, just happens to wash his cars a lot and takes care of them, and has learned a lot of the tips and trades. And I'll teach you some, and you can go get some more training from somewhere else. I will never claim to be a pro. I do not try to be a pro. That's just the way it is. I'm going to treat it like I'm the average Joe walking into Walmart, and we're buying products and we're trying them in our own cars. What's your thoughts on supercar racing Jetfire? It's a Top Gear, I think. I've seen a lot of those places do that before. I think Top Gear America raced the F-18 from the Blue Angels and their ZR1. I mean, it's just whatever. I mean, off the jump, the car is going to win, but once the plane spools up, you're not going to beat the plane. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? Detailing a plane would be a cool video. Yeah, again, I'd have to get a video. I'd have to get a plane, but right now, I don't have one. There is a lot of plane detailers out there in this world, but not near as many as car detailers for obvious reasons. There's way more cars than there is planes. But there is a couple people that will actually detail your plane that are, I see them spam their jobs on some of the Facebook groups for airplane stuff. So, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I'm sure there has to be some YouTube channels on it. I don't personally know of any, but then again, I haven't looked for that. But I know for a fact I see people spamming their business on these Facebook groups for pilots and whatnot, or different types of planes, saying, hey, if you need us to come detail your plane, we'll come do it. Here's our pictures of some of the other stuff we've done. Here's our website. And then, they just go on to the next thing. So that would be something that maybe you could check out later on after the live stream. Holy cow, we've been on almost 2 hours already. 2 hours already. It's pretty stoked. Yeah, I got my license. I finally got my real license the other day. So when you first start flying, they have to apply for you to have a student license. So you get a piece of paper until you have your student license. And then once they mail that to you, then you just fly on your student license. Basically, without an instructor, you can't go, or unless the instructor signs off on like a solo or something like that, then that's fine. And then what happens is once you get it done and you pass with the FA instructor with a check ride, then he hands you a paper license that says, okay, here it is. Here's your license. Now you go fly by yourself. And your real one is in the mail. And it's going to take, whatever. It took me almost 2 months, about a month and a half, let's just say, to get mine. Let's see if I can get it out of my wallet. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see much of it. I won't zoom in too much, but there you go. There's my pilot's license right there. It'll say right there on the bottom, it says private pilot. It has like the date it was issued to me on, my pilot's license number, just like a light car license. Has your address on it, your name, et cetera, et cetera. So it's pretty cool. I like the stuff, and then it's whatever. So that's pretty cool. I was pretty stoked about that. So I'm gonna. There's a place, an online web piloting shop called Sporties, and essentially it's like copying your license essentially, and they'll actually frame. It's like not frame, but it's like in whatever, a plaque, and then have that next to a picture of when I actually was holding up the sheet, like I just got my license and held up the sheet standing next to the plane. I'm gonna mount that on the wall upstairs. It's kind of like, hey, good achievement, that kind of thing. Do I still work? Yes, I still work. I missed some of the streams, so maybe you've answered this, but is there a reason? Planes, I always wanted to be a pilot my entire lifetime. I always wanted to be it since I was a little boy. Because we always had to fly up north to New York or Illinois, wherever my family was at. And I loved flying. It was the best, absolute best, and that's all I ever wanted to do. But I was told, obviously, at a young age, you can't fly for the military unless you have 20/20 vision. I don't have it. Obviously, I wear contacts and glasses. Nowadays, I heard they'll actually give you LASIK surgery as long as you meet all the other criteria. But back in the day when I graduated high school in 1998, you had to have 20/20 vision. Now that they're desperate for pilots in the military as well, because all the military pilots are leaving and they're going to the airlines and stuff because they just don't want to deal with it anymore. They're having those waivers, and they'll pay for you to have LASIK surgery, but you have to do a 10-year contract to be a military pilot, because the first 2 years are nothing but what's it called? Like you're instructing and learning how to fly in the whole 9 yards, getting military lifestyle and whatnot, boot camp or whatnot. Flying cars, not in our lifetime. What part are you gonna do next, Daryl? I'm gonna be doing this black ceramic spray wax. Let's see if I can get next to the van, get around without actually knocking it myself out of the way. Bear with me because the van's a lot bigger than the actual cars that I put here, so I'm trying to like step around it. But I had to make sure it cleared the garage so it wouldn't get hit by the garage. I'm going to be doing, is this it? Yes, this is it. This will be on your next video, guys. For anybody who doesn't know, let's see if there's a good lighting here for you. So it's this. It's their brand new ceramic acrylic black wax. So basically, it's, from what I gather, it's kind of like Ice Seal and Shine, which is a stellar product, by the way. I love Ice Seal and Shine, but it's generally designed for black vehicles. It has a black pigment to it, and it has a little bit of fillers as well, so it will help fill in any light swirls and stuff like that that you might not have time to break out the polish for. So once I get done polishing the actual van here, I'm actually going to be making a video putting this on it, because when I talked to them on the phone the other day, they said they highly recommend to use those in combo. So you use the polish first to get rid of the swirls, light correction stuff, and then you actually come back with that. They said once you do that, that car will not stop beating. It's ridiculous. They said just wait till you try it out, and I'm like, that's fine. And now that I've tried out, their Ice Seal and Shine and their other ceramic spray wax, I can really see I'm like, yeah, that stuff really works. So my guess is it's more along the lines of Ice Seal and Shine, but geared for more black cars because of the black pigment. So look out for that sometime this week. It might not be till Saturday, but I'd like to try and get it out sooner because I don't know how long I'm allowed to borrow this van for, and I don't want to overstay my welcome. Now, she's in Chicago, but one of her family friends gave me the keys. They stopped by the house and gave me the keys. So I don't know if they're letting people borrow the van or what. So I don't want to overstay my welcome and keep the van too long without returning it to her. I might do some tire shine on here. We'll see what happens because, I could put some, I washed the wheels obviously and did everything here. So I could always put some tire shine on. We could try some of that. I might try the interior stuff from that seafoam in here. We can see if it's shiny or not, or we'll generally check out some stuff. You know what I mean? Since flying cars coming, they need you would need anything that goes in the air. You need a pilot's license for. As a matter of fact, now like if you want to work and you want to use your drone to like do like real estate work or whatever, you have to have a drone's license now or some shit from the FAA. I don't know. It's really crazy. Basically, it's more government control, and I'm not big into the government control, but essentially you learn the rules about airspace and all that stuff. So where you can fly your drone, where you can't. But you know how drones are being more integral now, especially in like realty or whatever, how they can take pictures of the house from different angles and high, low, and the whole 9 yards, which really helps on their stuff. So a lot of these companies are going to the realtors and saying, hey, I will bring my drone out, take a crap ton of pictures for you. You pick out what you want, and I'll charge you a couple $100s for it. And a lot of them are doing that because it's helping them with actually selling their house. Now, a lot of the guys, when it was first starting to come out about a year or two ago, I was watching one guy that used to play paintball a lot, and then he decided he wasn't going to play paintball as much, and that's what he was getting into. He got his drone license, and he just offering his services for free. As long as he could get his name out there for like first couple times, I'm going to do this for you for free. I'll go wherever the house is. I'll use my drone, but just use my services. So that way I can use that in my portfolio. See, I did it for this place for free. Or I didn't do it for free, but these are all the stuff I've done in the past kind of thing. So that's what he was pushing, saying a lot of them now are coming out there. But he had to go get that license from the test or whatever and take it because you have to have a regular certified one to, I guess, make money off it. I don't know what it is. High school guidance counselor sucks. See, mine was, I don't really remember mine too much. He was pushing me to like go to college, and I really wasn't interested in the time. And I'm like, look, I don't really care about that stuff. And I was like, I'm happy with the job I have currently, and I just don't really care because like there's nothing I want to do other than flying. So I didn't really care. But at the time, again, I wish I would have had different stuff, but I didn't. Things were different back then. Let's put it that way. I wish I would have known about some stuff. Otherwise, I probably would have spent all my money on pilot's license and did all that, and I would have kept going through college immediately. And that way, I would have said, okay, well, I'm going to go to the airlines as soon as I'm done. And I would have graduated college and finished off any of my hours I needed. Then I would just become an airline pilot then at 22, 23 years old. But I was told a bunch of lies, and I just accepted what people told me, and that'll get you in trouble sometimes. Nathan will have flying car. I doubt that. Nathan's been flying with me already a couple times. I take him out flying with me, but the last couple times he was crying really bad, so I don't want to piss him off. So what we figured out that we think it was just too hot in the back of the plane because there's no air conditioning. So today when we were at Walmart, we bought one of those. It's like a 10-inch sized fan that can be battery powered. So we bought one of those today to put in the back seat with him. Help cool him down a little bit. My counselor was kind of cool, but never responded to my emails. Cat and whatever. Does the car have to be black? Usually it's black or dark color. If you want it for that product, you want a dark or black color for these newer products. However, if you just want it for any color, I would just suggest either spray wax or their like a turtle icy on shine. Hi there, greetings from Guatemala. Have you tried to use regular car soap with funky in it? Yes, I have tons of videos on that back in the day. Feel free to go back and search my old videos. You will definitely see I've tried everything under the sun, from dishwashing soap to even like body wash. I put body wash in there before that you use on your body. I've tried everything just for fun. Feel free to go through it and check them all out, buddy. Every drone needs to have registered FAA now. Videos, privacy is going to be the past. The government will be a thing. What could do for a carbon fiber hood without sanding? Because products may work. The hood is not faded, but I've seen spots getting dull. I wonder if you could try some polish on that. Granted, I don't have any of those kind of things. Like, I'll give you an example. The GTR actually has real carbon fibers, like the brace, stroke bracing on the back, diffuser on the bottom, has carbon fiber on it. But the hood, obviously, I don't have a carbon fiber hood, but I would try maybe a polish. Try like a sample area of a polish and see if it'll do anything for you. The problem with those carbon fiber hoods is after a while, everything just starts essentially falling apart and the clear coat stuff goes off, and then that looks like shit. So it's like, as soon as you get it, you gotta be layering it with like protection, sealants, waxes, whatever it is, to protect it from the sun's UV rays. Park it indoors whenever you don't need it. You want to have it out because when that sun just eats away that clear coat so bad, just like on your headlights. And that's generally what happens. Regular polish should work. Do you still have the Acc0rd79? Actually, it's at the motorcycle repair shop because it had a nail in it. So yeah, I still have it, but I haven't had it. With all the stuff that's going on right now, I can't. So what I would normally do is when my son's at school, I would just go pick up the motorcycle and ride it home. However, my son is not tall enough to ride on a motorcycle legally with me on the street. What happened? Sorry, I just reconnected. So what happened is I haven't been able to go pick up the motorcycle. I'm sure they're like going to charge me some ridiculous amount of money for not being able to pick it up. But I got to call them. Maybe Monday they're closed, so maybe Tuesday and be like, look, I don't have anybody to watch my son, so I can't take like an Uber ride up there and go get my motorcycle, which is screwing me over really bad right now. I guess maybe I could get a neighbor, but some of these neighbors are kind of grouchy and stuff like that. It's more like a, hey, how you doing? And then just keep on walking kind of thing. Is there any product that would hide light swirls? Have a twilight blue G35. It is almost black. I don't have any time to polish it. Nathan, stop. Try some of those. Try the new Turtle Wax acrylic because it's a dark color. It's made for dark. Try that. It is a polish. It will have fill in the light swirls. Try that out, Ariel. My son is trying to come out here. What do you want, buddy? You've got to be quiet when you're out here. You can't keep coming in and out. He just wants to come out and in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. So I don't want him coming in and out. Best polish I have found lately would be probably 3D's 1. It's a hybrid polish and compound mixed into one, so it has the cutting power of a little bit of each, so it works out really good. See, he's back out here again. What are you doing? I'm just
talking a little bit.
Here, talk to the camera. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
What are you gonna tell them? Tell them a joke.
Why a pig on another house?
Why is a pig on another house, Nathan?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? I don't know. His jokes are pretty wild, so I don't know. Who knows with him? So, oh well. What are you doing?
I want to sit on here.
You want sit on there?
Mm-hmm.
You want to sit on there? You want to sit on there. See, his English is a little broken.
Why on another house?
Why is a giraffe on another house?
I don't know.
You don't know. See, his stuff's pretty wild. I could probably just use glaze, fill in the swirls without polishing. Essentially, you're doing the same thing, though. I mean, I would rather have it polished with some stuff than I'd rather worry about all that stuff. What do you recommend for a good interior? Nathan, I'm talking, please, okay?
Why elephant on another house?
Why is an elephant on another house?
I
This is what I deal with all the time, guys.
don't know.
So there you go. Yeah, I don't know. He's getting bigger, but again, his English is a little broken up, so it's a little. We don't know if there's gonna be a speech issue that we have to worry about or what. APC, all-purpose cleaner for your interior. Shh, no. We're talking about something else, buddy. Okay. Not talking about the ABC song. We're talking about all-purpose cleaner, APC. Okay.
I want to say ABC.
Don't say ABCs out here. We're out here talking right now. Okay. So, sorry about that. APC. Oh, what would I use? I have used stuff from like Purple Power to like Orange Degreaser and some other like ones that are. Do you like the whatchamacallit has some APC ones like chemical guys. Some other interior cleaners would be something like the Masterson stuff because you can dilute it however much power you need. I like these kind of things. When companies have products like that where I can use it at different levels or whatever. You love 3D1. Yeah, 3D1 is what I used. So after I made the video and I wanted to come out with a more aggressive compound stuff. Nathan, you can't keep coming in and out, okay? All right, so stay inside the house, please. Thank you. Shut the door. See, he just wants to go in and out. Yeah, for sure. I use with the heavier cutting pad. I use the actual 3D1. I love that stuff. Thanks, guys. I've been using McGuire's Ultimate Carnauba Wax, which is all shine. Swirls pop out. Yeah, Ariel, you have got to take the swirls out. If you want to do it right, you got to take them. I can't tell you how many car shows I've been to. You're like walking up and down. And you're like, that car looks terrible. What the heck? And, they're trying to show off their car because they're so proud of it. There's nothing wrong with it being proud of your car, but it's like, spend a couple hours and let's get rid of the polish. Let's bring out the polishing compound. Let's get rid of the swirls, and then let's go out and talk some more. Airplane detailing, I don't know about that, man. I don't know, man. It would not be a big industry because not many people have planes. Let's put it that way. And many people that have planes have money. So if it's not more than just a basic wash, they're gonna pay somebody to do it. I'll give you an example. Some of these YouTube channels I've seen that have planes and they're doing like plane reviews or whatever. It's just these guys have literally hangars connected to their houses. It's ridiculous. And so they actually have small private airports, okay, where the neighborhood is based around a small private airport that you can't land there unless you have permission from the owner or you live in that neighborhood. It's kind of like going to like a private country club. So what they'll do is like the front of the house is a normal house on the street, but then behind the house is actually a hangar. So the door comes up and you drive your plane out. And some people park their RVs in there and their extra cars. And then it goes out into the taxiway and you just follow the taxiway behind your house up to the runway. It's nuts. These people have like 2 or 3 planes, and you're like, oh my God, these people are rich. That's the coolest thing ever. There's a big fancy one up the road from here near DeLand in Daytona. I forgot the name of it, but it's really fancy like that. You'll see multi-million-dollar houses in it. And basically the front of the house, normal street, no big deal. But the back is essentially like another street, but that's a taxiway for the planes to use to get out to the runway on. It's really wild. So you'll just pull you lift the back door out, and then you just take your plane out, start it up, shut the door to your place, and then you just take the taxiway right to the front of the runway from your house. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And these people are just bawling. I'm like, oh, that's sick. But that's a different level than I'm on to. Me, I'm looking at just renting a hangar down the street and parking it in the hangar. No, you don't have 3D1 at Walmart. I would recommend Amazon. Amazon or go to AutoGeek. Get one of the two. You won't have any problem. Speech issue. Think about sending him to speech therapy. Yeah, Adam, my son, you'll hear him. He's very broken English. It's really bad. When he first started speaking, everything was backwards. It was like he was speaking a foreign language and he was trying to learn English for the first time. He would talk about this. He would car this, that, blue. No, the car is blue. Car this, that is blue. I'm like, no, you got to say it this way. Everything is very chopped up. So we don't know. Any products recommended for matte paint? Matte paint, man, there's only a few things that are for matte paint. They have a couple of new sealants and stuff that's made for it, but I would definitely check some of that stuff before you use it. Maybe some of these spray synthetics that you could use on there, but I'm not 100% sure as matte is still very rare and I don't have any. So I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction and just tell you wrong. But I have a feeling that most of the stuff would work for it. Like, you're just your simple like spray wax or whatever. You're not gonna have any use for it. I'll show it to you. Like this, just a spray wax. I don't think you're gonna have any issues with the matte black. It says it can be used on wheels, exterior, glass, plastics. Yeah, you can use it on pretty much anything. It's paint should be free of oxidation, surface contaminants, clay or polish first time. Apply a second coat for 12 months of protection. So basically, you can layer this for twice and it'll last you for 12 months. Pretty cool. But yeah, I haven't really dealt with any matte colored things, but I'm sure you could put that on there. Not a stutter. It's just that it's broken. Like he's having to think about each word that he says. So there's no stutter. It's just like pause, pause, pause. And once he started going to school, you can definitely tell it got better. But the other kids in his class speak just like me or anybody else does in normal pace. There's not broken up, when he talks. It's not like that. Can you recommend a good high quality wheel cleaner tire? So Freedom, I personally use the Meguiar's Ultimate older wheel cleaner. That's what I use. I used it on the minivan. This minivan, it was terrible shape. That's what I used. Let me see if I can show it to you really quick, guys. And I'll show it to you. I'm starting to get a little bit of a headache, so I'm getting tired. But that's right here. So the Meguiar's Ultimate Wheel Cleaner. This is what I use. I like it because it comes in a really big bottle. It's got enough power. So it's going to last. I've used it on many vehicles since the last time I had to redo that. I used a couple sprays per wheel, especially on the barrels inside the wheels. So it already starts working really good, loosening up that dirt. So I don't have to work that hard. But that's what I use personally all the time. Chemical Guys has matte products. But don't sell them because it mess up the looks of the Amazon for true honest reviews. Be careful about Amazon reviews. If anybody has not known this already, a lot of these companies have fake accounts and they're putting up crap tons of fake reviews on products. It has happened to me before and everything. And these companies will hit you up and say, hey man, I'll give you your money back if you'll, or whatever, and I'll give you a new product for free and I'll give you your money back if you'll just take the review down. No, I'm not going to take my review down because you're selling junk products. And so no, I'm not taking it down. People need to know you're putting out junk. And so they're having a bunch of fake accounts that are going on there and just spamming and saying this product is amazing when it's not. And then they're trying to pay people to take the negative accounts down so it makes them look better because, of course, they're going to sell more products that way. So they don't want the real truth to come out. So, it's whatever. But that's why you got to be very careful, especially if it's not a company or anything you've ever heard of. No, I don't watch WrestleMania. Best liquid wax for black paint. Now, I know Turtle Wax used to have a black liquid wax. The polish has a wax in it, the one I just tried today. But honestly, any wax will do good for you. Be real. I've kind of gotten away from standard waxes because synthetics last just so much longer. Sealants and stuff like that, they just tend to last a lot longer. And I just don't want to have to keep waxing my car for 3 months or so. If you're going to go to a car show, I'd recommend a good high-end carnauba wax, because it's going to give you that really deep, wet, black pop really good. I would recommend that, but other than that, for me personally, for my daily use, I just like to put sealants on it, spray ceramics, stuff like that, because that way I can do it once and then it's done for months on end. You know what I mean? Have you tried Meguiar's Ultimate Compound? Yes, I have. It's fine. It's not as aggressive as other compounds I've used, but it's fine. Download the app, Fake Spot. It analyzes reviews and determines. I just go again for some of these companies. Like if I'm buying stuff on Amazon, usually I will look at the reviews, but normally I'll buy like name brand products. Like I'll give you an example. I needed to buy a backing plate for the new Grills Garage polisher. I bought it from Acc0rd products because Acc0rd is the one that has the light that I got from my squirrel finder light is Acc0rd tools. So I bought it because I recognized the name. They had some Ching Chong name on there or whatever, and it just wasn't for me. And I was like, never heard of that. It was cheap. And right away, that's a dead giveaway. Definitely some Chinese type name, and it's dirt cheap. So that was automatic. Nah, I'm good on that one. So I bought the Acc0rd tools because I needed it sooner. If otherwise, I would have just waited and got another Grills Garage. But I needed it sooner to hurry up and get this done. If I ordered from Grills, it could be 3-4 days before it gets here. And at the time, I'm like, I got to get the van done. And I don't have time to mess around.
Jet seal mat. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about dealing with the mat, so I can't tell you right now about how it would handle. Mm. Oh yeah, I gotta get that coffee to keep me awake because after I get off this, I'm gonna do a few more lessons, maybe 3 or 4 more lessons before I relax for the night. Because I've got to keep pumping out the videos. I want to get it done. I think I've got probably like 10 or 15 more lessons I got to do before I'm done, and then I can start doing the practice exams that they have for like getting you ready for like the sit down exams. You know, when you go into like the DMV and you have to take your written exam to be a driver's license or go get your CDL license, you have to go take the written exam. We have to do the same thing for every level of license that you get as a pilot. The same exact thing. So you go in there, you schedule it, you go sit down, you have like an hour to do it or 2 hours to do it. It's like 60 questions long. And basically, I want to have it where I've taken the test 50 or 60 times, practice test. So when I get in there, it's like, I've seen half of these questions before, and it's like click, 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 and I know it like the back of my hand. That's what I did last time. So I'm trying to knock it out this week, have all my actual lessons done, where I can spend a good 2 solid weeks of actually just doing practice exams. So as soon as the actual testing facility opens up again, I'll be able to walk right in, have it scheduled immediately, and just sit down, knock out the test. And now I'm halfway done. Then I just got to do the flying side of it. So that's why I've just been really hammering out these actual exams. Thanks for having this live stream. It was a good talk. Enjoy your night, Dom. Thanks so much for stopping by. I mean, I love hanging out with you guys. We talk about whatever, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. For me, it's one more way of connecting with you guys, and that's much more fun for me. There's a lot bigger YouTube channels out there, and that's fine. I don't care. Do they do live streams? I don't know, but I want to do it because it's fun. It's like we're all hanging out in the garage and we're all just talking. Everybody's talking to each other. I like that. Everybody has ideas. Everybody has experiences. That's great. That's cool. Just because we're in the garage doesn't mean we have to talk about garage talk. I mean, whatever you guys want to talk on. Would you ever buy drying towels from Walmart? I have bought towels in the past, but usually they're pretty crappy. They roll up on you really bad. And that really pisses me off when they roll up on you and you're like drying and it just rolls up. So generally I buy more name brand stuff. So normally I buy like my drying towels will be like Griot's Garage or Chemical Guys even for the waffle week. As a matter of fact, for my regular like microfiber towels themselves, a lot of them now are Chemical Guys because I've had very good luck with it. Amazon will have like it'll be 15 of them for like $12 or something or something like that. It's almost like $1 a towel. They're silk lined and they're really soft. So one side will be really short nap that can pull off like a sealant or wax that's on the car, and the other side's really soft to give it that nice buff up hair to it. So I bought like, I don't know, 30 something of those bad boys alone, maybe even more. And then, yeah, the other ones, like for the waffle weave, I'll either have Griot's Garage, the giant ones there, or I'll have the Chemical Guys. But I've had bad luck with the cheaper Walmart stuff. Your company is still out delivering like usual. My company doesn't work on Sunday. Walmart microfiber towels leave too much residue behind. Yeah, if you're going to do any of these cheaper towels, run it through your washing machine 2, 3, 4 times. Just keep running them in there. Even after it's done with its spin cycle, just run it again. Run it again. Get the loose fibers out. That's the good thing about going with higher end ones. Yeah, you might spend $2, $3, $4 a towel, but you're not going to have those cheap product issues. And to me, that's time wasted, money wasted in product, having to clean them, money wasted in electricity and water. I'd rather spend it the first time where I know it's not going to roll up on me, it's going to last, and it's not going to have all those little fibers everywhere like you're talking about. That's why I'd rather spend a couple dollars per towel usually. PD, I'm doing the best I can, buddy. I enjoy doing this. I got done with my private pilot's license, and as I told everybody before, when I'm done with the private pilot's license, I'll be doing a lot more videos, and that's why I've been putting out more videos recently. I do more live streams. But when I was in the middle of trying to knock that out, I had to really, how I want to say it, I had to really concentrate on school, as everybody would. I mean, when you invest $15,000, I would expect you to say, hey, Chad, I'm not going to be able to hang out with you on, go out to the weekends or anything for a while, okay? Once I'm done, we can go hang out again, but I've got to get this stuff done, you know what I mean? Like my wife told me when she was in med school that literally once she got done with classes for the day, she would go right to the library and start studying, going over all the stuff they just told her. And then she might go grab some dinner and then study for another hour or two and then go to bed and then get up the next day. She literally did nothing while she was in med school. There was nothing but study, study, study.
And you might go hang out with people once in a while on the weekend, but for the most part, she said she would just study and study because she wanted to make sure she got it done. Didn't get failed, didn't get dropped and put back to the next class behind her because it was so much money. When she first finished med school, her student loans for med school was $240,000. Okay, we just paid it off last month. So last month we paid it off. It took her 11 years to pay off that student loan. We just paid off a house. As many of you guys probably live in a houses that are $200,000. So she just paid off a single house in 11 years. So you can imagine it's like she wasn't going to screw around. That's kind of the mindset that I have here when it came to all this flying stuff, because they told me all in, they're like, Chad, all in, you're going to be spending about 60 grand here, $65,000. And I was like, oh my God. They're like, you can either take loans out for it or you can just pay as you go. And I'm like, I'm not doing any more loans. I'm sick of loans. We'll pay as we go. Fortunately, my wife is helping me pay for it, but that's when she came back, she says, don't screw around. Don't you dare quit on me. You're going to finish all this and you're going to be an airline captain in a few years. I'm like, okay, sounds good. So I have her backing, so I'm not going to take advantage of that. You know what I mean? It's just like when I tell you I'm going to do something, you can bet Chad's going to do it. If he tells you I'm going to do it. And that's what I've always believed. If you tell somebody you're going to do it, you better do it. Yeah, well, I'm glad to help you out, man. I'm glad to, Sinaloa, I'm glad to help you out. Did you keep in touch with the other YouTubers from the Turtle Wax? No, because I didn't talk to those people. I think Miranda came in here one time on one of my live streams, one or two. Miranda, very nice guy, very polite. Him and his wife, I guess, have a detailing company a mobile detailing company that goes around. I guess is it Virginia area or something like that. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys follow him on YouTube. A very, very nice guy. Who else did I see in there? Wax Mode. I remember years ago he would come into my YouTube channels and talk to me. Do I talk to anybody? No. Because a lot of people didn't recognize me. Again, I'm not the big face, massive guy like the YouTuber Pan or whatever. I'm not that guy. I'm not the other guy that's pretty big. Those people have more name recognition, but they take it to a whole nother level, very serious level. And I just do this for fun. I do it as a hobby, and I don't know. That's the way I take it. I still get a lot of views on some of my videos, but I'm not trying to be 100, 200, 100,000, whatever subscribers kind of thing. Yo, Cody. Medical school is the most stressful experience. I don't know. I searched up a flight school around me, and they said all in it should be 90,000. That's way too much money. Music, way too much money. Most flight schools to get your private is between usually $10,000 and $15,000. I spent about $15,000 on mine because my instructor seemed to really hold on to me for a lot longer than I should have been. You got to kind of watch out for that kind of thing. But it cost me right at $15,000 to have all my license. That's with rental plane. That's with paying him. That's with buying an iPad mini from Verizon Wireless. That's with my, so I had to pay $700 to bring the FAA instructor out and sit next to me. I had to pay $125 to take my written exam at the FAA testing facility. I had to pay for $200 and something for the online program, the online classes. I had to pay $200 and something for that. As you can imagine, it adds up very fast. I also bought a backpack for all my stuff, a flight bag that was like $90. It has my name engraved on it. I think it's really cool. I bought the thing that holds the iPad. It goes on it straps on your leg, and it holds the iPad. I bought a knee board. I bought headlamp for when you're flying at night. It just puts out red lights so it doesn't blind yourself. What else I bought? You see how quickly it adds up. Tons of batteries, a headset. The headset alone cost me $800 and something. They're not cheap to get into it. So getting into the flying thing is expensive, but once you're into it, it makes it a lot better. But yeah, no, music. It's usually $10,000 for commercial airline pilot license, $10,000 for instrument. I'm gonna guess it's somewhere around the same for CFI, and then you have to get multi-engine rating on your thing, which is I think 25 hours, and it's usually $300 an hour to rent a multi-engine airplane. So an airplane with 2 engines on it. So you have to get that as well on your license. So it's only, like I said, it's usually $300 an hour, times it by 25 hours. Yeah, I think half of that can be what's it called? Simulator. But the other half has to be straight pay. And then of course you have to pay for an instructor as well to sit next to you and make sure that he teaches you how to do it, and then you do it. So you get the idea. So you shouldn't be near that much. Again, I was quoting anywhere between $55,000 and $65,000 to have everything all the way through. Do you invest in anything? Do you collect anything? Are there any hoops to jump through to become an airline pilot? No, just do everything you need to do. Make sure you can qualify for a first class medical exam. You cannot be an airline pilot without a first class medical. So they hold you to the highest physical standards, basically. I have a first class medical, so I don't have any problems. But some people can't get first class, so they tell you straight up when you apply, if you're going to do this eventually to be airline pilot, go get your first class medical or at least shoot for it now. Because if not, if you can't get it right away, then that way you don't waste any more time or money. You can still be a private pilot all day long or like a cargo airline pilot, but you cannot be a passenger pilot. They demand first class. You have to have the best physical. So, like they put an EKG on me. They put those little stickers on me all over my chest to check my heart and all that stuff. It was wild. Only first class makes you do that. Oh, now it was vision test. I had to put my glasses on. No contacts, just glasses. I had to have, they do the typical, like feel you and all that stuff and play with you. And it's the typical stuff other than that. Do you want to be a commercial pilot? Yes, I want to be a commercial pilot. You're right. Goals in terms of piloting. I'd like to fly for airlines. I would like to be able to see customers. I'd like to be able to see the kids like I was a little kid, wanting to go check out the cockpit. I want to be that where I'm saying hi to everybody and going through different airports in the world and getting to see the world, and let them pay for it. And the beauty, I can't explain it. When you're up there like 5,000, 10,000 feet and you're looking down, it's just beautiful. Usually, a lot of times you'll have clouds below you, and it's just you're way up there, and you're just like, this is beautiful. I mean, lakes, the ocean, the cities, and you're just all up there, and it's just peaceful and quiet, and you're like, this is the best, man. It's quiet, it's peaceful. There's no traffic up there. It's just like, hey, what's going on? Let's go. You're only listening to your anybody else in the plane with you, your co-pilot or whatever, and then you're just listening to the air traffic control, and that's it. That's all you're doing. Other than that, it's just peaceful up there, and I like that. It's the stress level is gone once you're up there. I love it. Where did I get them? These are all from Sam's Club. All these LED lights are from Sam's Club. They're like $40 a piece. So every time we would go, I'd buy another 2 or 3. So by the end there, I had. So you can link 10 of these together and one plug. So I have 10 of them. Now, if you had more than one plug, obviously you can do more. But I have 10. But I only have. I don't know if you guys can see this. You see what they plug into? So I only have 2 plugs up there. Obviously, I could bring an electrician out, but I tried, and Kissimmee people are lazy and they don't show up. So I was going to have another plug put in here as well as a switch on the wall. So the switch on the wall would have a separate plug where I could just, without having to get on the ladder to make sure it's plugged in, that I would just have to flip the switch over there and it would be on its own circuit. But I tried the company that did my bathroom and stuff, and I said, hey, and I called the boss. Let me talk to the boss. Yeah, we'll do it. And then they never showed up. So I just got to find an electrician to have a full another circuit put on there. So whenever whatever stuff's plugged in, I just have to hit it on the wall, and then I could turn on the lights. But once I have another plug, then I could always add 3 more or something like that. But right now, it's still pretty bright. Community college, if you don't know what CC is. Have you ever used Adams Detailing products? Yes, I have. Freedom's Flights. I have a whole box of them in there. Pretty good products, a little overpriced. Wait till there's a good sale, and then I think you'll have a good price. I have to head out. Good chat. Thanks so much, PBJ. Thanks so much for stopping by. This school said they hire you for 1 year after you finished everything as a flight instructor. But most flight schools will do the same thing. As a matter of fact, flight schools are so hard up for instructors that if you do your flights training with them, they're probably going to offer you a job. If you get you get all your licensing through them, and then you go get your instructor license afterwards. You're done. If you do it through them, chances are about 100%, unless you're just a douche and they hate you, you're going to automatically get it. As a matter of fact, I've been talking to somebody that I know that went to Sun State Aviation, which is here in Kissimmee. Funny enough, the owner actually lives right down the street from me. For Sun State, it's kind of like the fancy rich kid school to be it. And he used to work for them. He told me, if you did the CFI with them, it was an automatic job offer. They right there on the spot. Congratulations. Would you like a job? Immediately, every single person that got their CFI license through them, they immediately offered them a job because they're so hard up. These schools are so busy right now with everybody trying to become pilots now because the demand is so high. But what's happening is as soon as these instructors are hitting their magical 1,500 hours, they're even close to 1,500 hours, they apply for airlines jobs immediately. And most airlines will say, well, you're at 1,400 hours. How about we'll pay the extra 100 hours worth of plane rental fees, and you have a month to get it done or whatever, 100 hours flown or whatever it is. and you'll have a job with us immediately. So these guys leave, and as soon as they get that magical 1,500 hours, poof, they're gone. They go straight to the airlines because the airlines are desperate for pilots. So that's the problem. They can't keep their instructors because as soon as these guys, for the most part, hit their 1,500 hours, and that's the minimum to be a pilot in the United States, they're gone. They leave on them. So it's like a constant rotation. I got to get new instructors, got to get new instructors, got to get new instructors. Just like the pilots are like, we're going to need pilots. We need pilots. Right now, obviously not, but in 6 months from now, when it's back to like, who gives a crap and it's busy, it'll be back to we need pilots. We need pilots. We need pilots. And that's the way that goes. Jay Leno product. Eventually, for sure, man. I haven't been anywhere to go pick up any Jay Leno stuff. I'm interested. It'll be more. Do you ever want to fly upside down in the show? So my instructor, when he first started teaching me at the one place, we flew a Acc0rd, which is an acrobatic plane, which means it can go upside down and do everything like that. We had a Cessna right before. So the last flight that we had together, he was prepping me for my check ride with the FA instructor. And one of the things you have to do is they call it unusual attitude. So you basically close your eyes and put your head down so you can't see what's going on. Your body's all messed up. So they purposely try and put the plane in some wild maneuvers like this and just kind of really screw up your equilibrium. And then they say, all right, look up and recover. And so then you have to figure out, okay, which way is the plane going? Is it down? Is it up? Is it this way or that? Anyways, he came up like this and did this to the Cessna. And they said, all right, recover. So basically what he told me in the past is if you ever find yourself upside down, immediately flip it over. Don't put the gas, don't push it forward, don't pull it up. Just flip the plane straight over immediately. So it's still flying, no big deal. So that's what we did. We actually had the Cessna basically upside down. And I was like, holy crap. Like up there was the ground. And I'm like, holy shoot. Like, so, and I saw on the actual action indicator stuff that we were there. So immediately, of course, I flipped it immediately, put the plane. I mean, it's easy, just kind of like turn the wheel and it just flips right back over again. And then we kept going. I didn't do anything. Now, if you're going straight down and they tell you, okay, recover, then you pull the power because you obviously don't want to be going faster into the ground. You pull the power and then you just slowly pull up like this and you fly off. If you're going up towards the sky and he has you almost straight up, then you would obviously push in full power and then you just push the nose over. That's all there is to it. But, it freaks out some people because it's meant to screw with your equilibrium so you don't know which way is up, down, or anything. So you have to use your instruments and use your eyes immediately to figure out which way you are and right the plane because they do, in fact, test you on the check ride that. What do you think about that write off the 1,500 hours, $500? What do you think of people that write off their 1,500 hours, $500? Don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. Advanced Auto Parts on my areas, 50% on all detailing products. Oh, that's a good deal right there, man. Try some of this new ceramic stuff from Walmart, from Turtle Wax, not Walmart. Jesus, you will be loving this. Get this right now. That highly recommended. Some of the higher ones, maybe some Grio's Garage. Maybe try some of that Jay Leno that Dalton's talking about. Try some of those. What else would I really have? I've been blown away by the Mother CMX spray ceramic wax. I was blown away by that as well. What else? If you can get the Mother soap that really comes in the big, it says 3X on the bottle. That stuff is stellar for a car soap. That stuff is mind-blowingly good. If you can still find Eagle One car soap, that car soap is freaking stellar. This is the car soap I'm talking about. If you can find this, it's made to be in the foam can, and it's all-purpose ultimate cleaner. It's wild if you've ever used it. You can see how much I have, and I have tons of soap, so you can imagine. That stuff is freaking mind-blowing right there. Highly recommend that stuff. It's just a crapshoot from there. You just want to take your chance. If I was standing next to you, I might be able to help you out, but I want you guys to get the best stuff the first time so you don't keep wasting your money. And these are some of the products that I've tried that I've just been blown away by. And I want to just basically help you save your money and not waste money. Can a pilot be afraid of heights? I'm sure. I mean, when I was so last year we went to the Seattle Space Needle again. Like I've been to Seattle twice now because of cruises. And when you're on the top of the Space Needle, it'll freak you out a little bit. You lean over and it's just like a straight drop, and you're like, man, you get that little bit of whoa, that's freaking weird feeling, right? And they have an area inside the Space Needle on the one level that it's like that hard whatever glass or whatever it's plexi that's made of, and you stand on it and you look straight down, you're looking at the ground, like 500-600 feet below you. And my wife was not too thrilled with that. Like, I guess it got to her a little bit. And she was like, nah, I don't want to stand on that anymore. And I was just standing there. It was no big deal because at my job, what I used to have to do is I used to have to walk the catwalks to the gratings. And so I'd be, 50, 60 feet up in the air, just walking through catwalks. And it's grating. So you just look through the grating and you see the ground. So that didn't bother me one bit at all because I knew what it was there. But looking outside, when I first looked outside, getting used to it, man, that kind of gave me a little bit of a whoa, when I first looked out. But then I got used to it. Adrenaline rush? No, it's just more like driving a car. Literally, think of it, we're gonna hop in your car and we're gonna drive for 3 hours. We're gonna go to a different state, or we're gonna go to a different city in your state. That's kind of what it's like. It's just kind of like sit there, once you're in drive and you're just cruising down the thing, that's it, man. You're just going. There's nothing more than that. As a matter of fact, that's why most airliners have autopilot. They just kick on the autopilot and then they just talk to each other and just listen to the ATC. And then if the ATC says, hey, come left 20 degrees, they just turn the autopilot for 20 degrees to the left from what they really are, where they are currently. And the plane will automatically just go that way 20 degrees and then just keep on just talking. I mean, that's generally what it is. It's kind of like we're just on a road trip together and we're hanging out. There's really nothing about it. I just said for our allies on Instagram, and they had a partnership with school. Yes, everybody's doing it, Magic. Every airline is doing it. As a matter of fact, I contacted Piedmont. Piedmont is wholly owned now by American Airlines. So is Envoy, and so is PSA Airlines. So they fly all the little regional routes for them, and the little tiny jets, the ones that only have like 30 passengers and 40 passenger jets. They'll say like American Eagle Connection or whatever, but they're actually operated. If you look underneath the windows, it'll actually say operated by like Piedmont or whatever. Anywho, they have a plan, and I remember flying Piedmont a lot as a little boy because they were all up and down the East Coast. They're based out of Charlotte, and what they have a thing now where you work for them. As a matter of fact, you can get in, like if you have just your instrument of commercial, you can get in their program for them, and then they'll fly you around to all the places for free, and you get to go to all these like little seminars, and you meet up with people and other instructors and pilots, and they let you get a feel for it all, right? And then they'll connect you with other instructors so you can help build your time samples, and they're basically now they have you in the system, and then what'll happen is as soon as you're done, they help you get there, and then you have a job with Piedmont Airlines immediately as a commercial airline pilot. So yes, you are on one of the little regional jets, but most people start at regional. And then what they do is they guarantee you that you will have a job with American in like 3 to 5 years. So you work for Piedmont now, which is owned by American, and then in 3 to 5 years, when you get promoted through, you're going to have a job as an American airline pilot, and that's when you start making 100 and something thousand a year, and you're making crap loads of money. But as a regional airline pilot, usually only start like $40, $40-something an hour. But hey, $40-something an hour is not really bad if you think about it. How did one-day shipping work? Companies put it out. It's next day, it goes on the plane, gets delivered the very next day. No big deal. 1,500 hours cheating the system. You really can't cheat the system unless you write in on your logbook that you have all these hours flown. A few people have been caught doing that where they'll go in their logbook because it's all about honesty, and they'll like write in that they've flown all these times in all these cities and stuff. But usually they pick you out pretty fast. Once you actually go to the flights training and stuff, they're like, damn, this guy sucks. How do you not know all this stuff? Can we see your logbook? And then they pick it out like, I don't think you've flown as much as you say you've flown. They can kind of pick you out because these guys have, 30,000 flight hours, and they're like, yeah, you don't act like you have 1,500 hours. You don't have the experience. You don't have the knowledge. Why don't you know this? Let me see your logbook, sir. And then you can start questioning them and stuff. So yeah, people have been caught falsifying all the hours they really have because they want to get to the airline. So they'll falsify a couple hundred hours. And that's when you get busted. I mean, you can lose everything. And for that, I'm just like, not worth it. I saw if you ever lose your equilibrium, was to spit. Yeah, that's true. It's the same as underwater. If you're underwater, blow bubbles. You'll know immediately which way the surface is because the bubbles are going to go up. Bubbles do not go down. We all know this. Bubbles don't go sideways. Bubbles go up. So that's one way for you to ever do. If you're ever underwater and you don't know, spin yourself around a bunch of circles, do some flips underwater, blow the bubbles. It'll immediately go to the top. So you're right. Music, listen to anything from 80s music, a lot of 80s, some rap from the 90s and stuff like that. I like electronic music. I love that kind of stuff. Not really as much pop music anymore. Pop music to me is just really gone the day of the dodo bird, or I'm just getting too old where I'm not interested. I used to have like satellite radio in all my cars, and one of the channels I would have would be like channel 2, which is the hits music station. I actually removed that channel off because I was like, it's not doing anything for me. The music sucks. So I took it off. Like, who's that one chick that won? She has like green hair. She talks like this. Oh, she won all these awards, I guess, like a month or two ago, a couple months ago. I'm like, who the hell is that? I'd never heard of this person before, so I had to look them up, and I'm like, who? And I listened to her music, and I was like, oh, this is terrible. But she won like all kinds of awards. She's like brand new to the scene, but when she talks, she kind of mumbles, and I'm like, this is not my style of music. Wow. But whatever, everybody has their own thing. Do you still like old classic? Yes, I do. Evening, Chad. I'm a little late, but I want to say hi before bed. Dean, thanks so much for stopping by. No, we've been on for almost 2.5 hours now. There's a building in New York City, has an observation deck with glass door. Yeah, I've been to One World Trade Tower. I've been to the One World Center with the new one. I've been there. That didn't bother me. It didn't bother me whatsoever because I guess it was glass. You know how I guess you kind of stand out there over the glass. That didn't bother me when we went up to One World Trade Tower. And back when I was a little boy, I was like 11 years old in 1991. We went on top of the trade towers, the Twin Towers. I've been on top of those. Well, I was on top of those. And it didn't bother me. But I guess maybe because it's the glasses right there. We're on the Seattle Space Needle. You actually walk outside, and it's like you just put your hand through the little fence, the barrier, and there's nothing out there. So I guess that freed me out a little bit like that. If you are scared of heights, don't go to China Glass Bridge. But I don't know. That kind of thing doesn't bother me when it's the glass bridge and all that stuff. Again, it's like the Seattle Space Needle. When you're up there on the one floor, there's like different floors of it once you're in there on the top, and you go to the bottom, the bottom of the two floors, and it's that kind of glass thing, and you just kind of look down, and that didn't bother me at all, not one bit. They have something like that out there in the Grand Canyon at the Indian Reservation that looks over the Grand Canyon. It's that way. One of the cruise ships, the Princess cruise ships, the newer ones, they had this thing that goes out like this, a big hoop that literally sticks over the seas, and you walk over it, and it's that same kind of stuff. And you just look down, the sea is the only thing below you. There's no ground or anything. It's just that whatever it is made out of. Thick plexiglass, I guess what it is made of. But that stuff doesn't bother me. My wife was like, whoa, and I'm like, just walk. I was like, it's there. It's not going to break on you. Just walk out there. But the second I said doesn't do it. Yes, that Billy person. Yes. I'm like, what? What? I don't know. It wasn't me. Not my kind of music. New generation music has fallen. 17. No, it's a different building called the Edge. I don't know. So last time we were in New York, was it last year? It was the fall before. We went to One World Trades, and we went to the Empire State Building the same day. Empire State Building sucks. You can only go up to like the 80th floor or something, and then to go to the observation. If you want to go beyond the 80th floor to the top, they charge you like another $40. And we're like, what the hell? No. Where One World Trade, for the same price that you can get to the 80th floor, you go all the way to the top. And I'm like, that's the better deal. That's way better. So we were happy there. We also went to the USS Intrepid. We went to the Intrepid Museum, the aircraft carrier. That was cool. I like that a lot. I'm thinking about getting a GTR in the next few years. Any tips or liabilities? No issues whatsoever. No issues whatsoever. It is solid as a rock. It's Japanese. So Japanese, 100% Japanese. It's made in Japan. It's not made in America or anything. So very high end. The engine's hand built in the GTR. No issues whatsoever. My brakes, I have to replace the brakes here soon. They're squealing a little bit. They're expensive. Anything on the GTR is going to be expensive to fix. So be ready to open your pocket. Other than that, it just drives like normal. I mean, it's a little rough riding, but it's not the end of the world. It's a sports car. But other than that, it just drives like any other car. Listen to Eminem, Queen. No, Eminem I don't like at all. Queen, I like a few other songs. Do you ever get tired of standing to these live streams? No, I keep moving around as you guys get to see me. I'm always moving around. I'm talking to you guys. I'm enjoying my time with you guys. My job at work is to always move the trucks, gas them up, clean them up, whatever I got to do. So I'm always out there walking. So walking for me is not a big deal. And just standing out there is really no deal at all. I'm getting battery warnings, by the way, so I'll probably have to end this off here in a little while. Sorry, my throat's starting to get a little bit sore from all this talking. No, I don't have the virus. No, it's just that if you talk a lot, your throat starts getting a little dry and sore. But yeah, I don't have any no issues standing. To me, it's hanging out with you guys, it's talking. We're getting to have our just chat room kind of thing, and I like what we get to do. I like getting to spend time with you guys. It means more than you know what I mean. And it gives me one more way to connect with you all versus whatever, just on videos, and you never know how I really am. You know what I mean? Again, I don't know if other YouTubers do it, if other YouTubers in the detailing land do this or not, but I just do it because I think it's just a lot of fun for me. I just find it as one more way to hang out with you guys. How's the Civic doing? Civic's doing really good. I haven't driven it really lately. It's outside. I got rained on today, so the beating is like on point. But I've been driving it because once I got the both Preludes running, I'm like, I'm gonna drive the hell out of the white car. I haven't driven the white car in so long. I got it running again. So and it's been kind of cool. Like right now outside, it's only like 70 degrees, if I had to guess, maybe 72 right now outside. So the garage door is wide open. It feels great. So I've been driving the white Prelude because it doesn't have AC in it. Maybe obviously with no AC, it gets really hot in the summer. So I've just been taking it a lot lately. I would love to get it repainted, but I've been spending so much money on flight school, and then of course I still have my Civic payment. So what's more important in the end is flying for me. So I've got to worry about that. Car wash from any company. Ooh, I would say it would either be Limitless Car Care car wash. It's right here. Love it. I've gone through multiple bottles of it. This stuff is so rich, so slick. I mean, it is. I always complain about slickness. This stuff, literally, when I made the video, if you can go watch the video of this, it fell out of my hand when I grabbed it because I put my hand in the bottle and I put my hand inside the soap and I picked this up. It fell out of my hands. It was so slick. It was ridiculous. The foam is out of control. This works in a foam cannon. So damn good. Plus the foam is great in the 2-bucket. The smell is also very good. Let me check the smell again. It's a nice blueberry type smell. It is so good. Love this. And I don't have the car wash available, but from this company called the Wax Shop. They have a cherry snow foam wax or whatever wash. Oh my God. It smells so good. So good. And the foam is so rich, so thick, and so, as well as the actual product. If you told me that's all, if I couldn't pick anything else, it would be one of those two products right now. Nothing I've tried. And I seriously mean that. Nothing has met those two. And I have probably tried 50 different car washes from all sorts of companies. I have the Sonax car wash. I have tons of chemical guys. I have Adams. I have Jay Leno. I don't know how many McGuire soaps. I have Turtle Wax soaps. I have most of those companies. Stoner Car Care, 303 soap, Masterson soap. Eagle One is pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie. I like them a lot. 3D car soap I've tried. I've tried some just knockoff brands. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, that beats those two, for my opinion. My opinion. It was so good that last year when I was doing a lot of live streams and giveaways, I actually contacted the Limitless because I deal with him once in a while, and I bought $100 worth of his products. He shipped them down to me, and I actually gave those away on my live streams. I was so pumped about that car wash, and all his products are so damn good for being a small company that I spent my own money on it just to give them to you guys. And then I had to pay, what, $10, $12, $15 to ship every single bottle out via priority mail. I mean, that's like paying, $20, $25 to give you a product. That's how good I thought the products were, because I was willing to put my money where my mouth is. He didn't give those to me. I actually bought them from him. He had a deal going on for like $9 a bottle, so I bought like 5 or 6 or something like that. Don't you worry that your cars will get dirty after work from the trucks? Why would my cars get dirty from the trucks? The trucks are parked in a fenced off area. My car is in the parking lot. I love heights. I like standing in the Bombay Vintage Restore B24 low altitude. Yeah, I bet that would be pretty cool. As a matter of fact, I don't know if it's still here or not. The B17 from New York. They park it here at Warbird Adventures. So me and my son went through there. I don't know if you saw my Instagram pictures. We actually climbed all the way through the Bombay. That was actually really, really cool. Because again, Warbird Adventures is where I started my flying career. You should never go to Nissan for those kinds of issues. I actually go to a place called Dazoo Motorsports. They custom build custom engines for GTRs. They're here in the Orlando area. They do all my oil changes and stuff. So they They build engines that are well over 1,000 horsepower, but they'll just work on your regular GTR as well. Usually when you go there, they'll have like 3 or 4 GTRs sitting there. Plus they have their show GTR that they took to SEMA and stuff, which is out of control wild. And so they build whatever you need, or if you just want regular maintenance on it, they do all that stuff too. So I was all lined up to get my brakes done and stuff with him. And then he wrote me and said, "Hey, we're gonna wait till all this junk blows over." So I've been waiting the last couple of weeks, and all this keeps. Well, let's push it back to April 31st now. I'm like, Jesus, people are going to be broke off their minds. They can't afford bills. We have got to get back to work. Not everybody and their brother's sick. That's another thing. And what is holding it back 4 weeks gonna do? If you let us back now or you let us out in 4 weeks, people are still gonna get it. Am I right? It's just like the flu. The flu is a virus that goes around. People catch it. People get sick. People get over it. Some people die of the flu. Yes, they do. All the time. Thousands and thousands and thousands every year. But, we got to get back to normal. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just waiting on him to open up his shop again so that way I can actually, mechanics don't have to shut down. Mechanics are considered essential, but he just shut down for his own purposes because he works another job still. And I don't know if his other job's essential. So, because I told him, I said, I want the brakes redone here. And he said it's between $2,000 and $2,500. And I was like, oh my God. And I want the O2 sensors. There's 2 O2 sensors that have been bad since I bought it. I didn't mind because I guess it has 4 O2 sensors on it. So 2 of them are bad. And when I bought the car back in 2016 now. And but I didn't bother. It didn't bother me having it. I bought it in 2017. I bought it in 2017, so it didn't bother me any. And I was just like, whatever, I can fix the O2 sensor. So I'm going to have him do all that at the same time. He just did the oil change in December, so the oil's fine. And then I'm going to be putting it up for sale. Thermal R&D makes some great no drone exhaust for the Type Rs. I don't plan on changing the exhaust on the Type R. I like the way it is. It's quiet. I must be getting old. My ears get really sensitive now. Even in the GTR, about 70 miles an hour, the drone is so much that it hurts my ears after a while. Scotty, warn people about the Nissan transmission. Yeah, if you get like a Pathfinder, but the GTR is no problem. Remember, the GTR is 100% made in Japan. It is not an American build. They hand build the engines for the GTR. Hand build, not a machine, one by one with one of the, I think there's 3 or 4. I forgot what they call them, the Takumis or something. Anyways, I forgot what their Japanese name is for them. There's like some of the highest specialists in the Nissan place can make it, and they have to be fully certified. There's only like 4 or 5 of them, and that the entire company that's allowed to make the GTR engines is wild. There's a whole video on YouTube about it. Worst products I ever tried. It would have to be some from like the no-name Walmart type brands and like Black Magic and stuff like that. Those would probably be the worst. Hello, my name is Anthony. What do you think about the Jeep Gladiator? They're all over the road down here. They're absolutely all over the road down here. I don't know. I don't know. Me personally, I would probably buy a regular Jeep. I think I remember when I was a young kid, we had friends that were at college age or whatever, family friends, and he had a Jeep. So his was like a 1980 Jeep or whatever. So obviously he's much older than me. And he used to take us down to the beach and all kinds of these parks and stuff, and we'd be all over the place with the Jeep. It was a blast. I loved it. When I got older, I was never interested in buying a Jeep, but if it would be between me and that, I would buy a regular Jeep versus the Gladiator. But I see the Gladiators everywhere here. They're all over the place. So they're pretty stinking popular. I've seen how they try and take them off-road and stuff, but because they're so long, they usually get caught up on some stuff, where a Jeep is a lot smaller, so it doesn't get caught up as much. If you need a truck, but you still want the Jeep ability for the most part, I understand why people are buying the Gladiators for sure. Me personally, if I ever take one of these airline jobs and I get moved out west or anywhere where I'm going to see some snow, I'm going to be buying a Land Cruiser, a used Land Cruiser from Toyota, because it's a Toyota. We know it's going to last forever. Land Cruisers are built way tougher than they ever need to be. They can go anywhere and get you back, so I'll be buying a Land Cruiser. I'll buy a used one. I won't buy a new one, but that's how it is. Sienna, how I wash, I got my, do you worry that your car interior will get dirty? Oh, no, man. I'm not rolling in dirt. I'm just driving a vehicle from point A to point B in the yard. I gas them up, whatever I need to do, drive it through the wash tunnel, whatever I got to do. And then, I park them back at the end of the night on the dock. So I'm not like rolling in dirt or anything. It's mostly just driving vehicles back and forth. Yeah, I'm going to be selling it, Blake, because I need to buy a plane to continue my training versus always renting. And obviously, I got to build hours if you want to be an airline pilot in the next couple of years. That you have to be able to build 1,500 hours. I only have 100 and something hours right now. So Renting is very expensive. Like if you buy block time, they usually give you an hour free. So it's like, I want to say it's 12 or maybe 13 hours, and you have to pay $1,400 to get that block time. It's one or the other. So you can imagine it's like I've got to get to 1,500 hours. So most guys, what they do is they either become instructors, so that way they don't have to run the plane. They have to sit next to some new person that's trying to learn how to fly. And that's one way to build your hours. Or they do some of these little really basic jobs, even jobs like banner towing, the ones that tow the banners around. That's a job you can do and build your hours. You can be a cargo pilot. Once you have about 500 to 700 hours, you can fly like the turboprop cargo around the States. Build your hours that way. There's many different ways, but a lot of times people will just buy a plane, a basic plane, a little old Cessna, and they'll fly the living crap out of that, and they'll just do the basic maintenance on it. Once they hit their magic 1,500 hours, and they just sell the plane and move on. They go right to the airlines, and then if they want a plane later, then they buy a much fancier plane because they're making so much more money. That's generally the way it goes in the airline world. I see a lot of it. I'm in there's a student pilot community on Facebook, and a lot of these parents come in there. There's like dads that are airline pilots, and they're like, "Look, I'm looking for a plane for my kid, either like a small Piper, or a small Cessna, just to get him trained on and to build his hours on. That's all I want. Anybody have any leads to any planes for sale?" And that's what you'll see it all the time. These rich parents, they'll just buy their kids a plane because it's cheaper to buy, a $30,000 little Cessna, basic Cessna or a Piper, than keep renting it over and over. I mean, think about it. If it's $1,400 for every 12 hours, you can do the math really quick. Okay, every 100 hours is going to cost me, what, 9,000 something dollars? Yeah, it starts to get to like, just let me buy a plane for 30. If you're a young man that's not married, then a $25,000 Cessna 150 in great shape is a killer deal when you start doing the math there. It's like, wait a second. So 200 hours, that's almost 20 grand invested. So for 250 hours, I just bought my own plane. So I don't have to do anything but put gas in it now and just do maintenance on it. That's a better deal. So every person in that community will tell you just buy your own plane. So that's why I'm looking to sell the GTR the next couple of months so I can pay cash for it. Quarantine is sleep. You should check out thermal R&D. I have no plans to change out my exhaust boss. What's your take on Jay Leno stuff? I tried one of them. It's pretty good. Overpriced though, a little overpriced. I tried out his car wash and it was a little expensive. It was kind of like in the lines, if I had to guess, like an Adams car wash. It's pretty good stuff, but a little overpriced. Have you ever heard of the Nissan's SCR? Yeah, I know what you're talking about, the Spec V. Cool. My gramps flew some of them out of towards you shows in the Ryan. When are you going to review Dollar Tree products for fun? I don't know, Renee. I just don't know. Is a 98 Civic good for a first car? You're damn right it is. That's the year I graduated high school. Yeah, you had mid-90s Civic. You won't have any problems with that car. It's not going to have a lot of power. It's going to have like 130 horsepower, maybe if you're lucky, 120. But it'll be damn reliable. This thing will last you forever as long as you just do basic maintenance on it, or hoping that somebody didn't flog the crap out of it. Get an old lady's car. Who cares if the paint's not that great? As long as it runs and it runs good. That's all that matters, especially for your first car. You can always dump it later. Like I did. My parents bought me an 88 Hyundai Excel, 1988. The thing broke down all the time. My parents had to keep paying to fix it. But it got me to my first main real job. And I worked that job for 4 months, and then my dad co-signed a $6,000 loan with me, and then that was my first car loan, was $6,000. So it got me to where it needed to be, and then I bought a much nicer car. I bought a Chevy Beretta. It was only 3 years old, 3 or 4. No, it was 4 years old, and then I drove that for 3 years until somebody T-boned me in Clearwater, and then I bought my first Honda Accord. Used Landers still go for pretty. Yeah, they do. You're damn right about that. You should polish the truck. I don't have the time. They would bitch at me for not doing it. Have you used race fuel in the GTR before? No. Have you? I've heard that some airplanes, the Cirrus does, but most airplanes don't. The Cirrus does. Yeah. See, music already got it. Yeah, the Cirrus does, but you have to know how to use it. But you have to be ready for it. I mean, think about it. Are you ready for an accident at any given time? So you have to be ready for it immediately. And if you're too close to the ground, it's really not going to do anything either. It's like releasing a parachute when you're 50 feet off the ground. Is it going to have enough time to open and then as well as slow you down in time? That's a problem you got to think about. There we go. So yeah. That other than that, no, most planes don't. You gotta. I've had more people at work. Everybody wants to ask me about the pilot and all that stuff. They think that if an engine dies on a plane, is it just going to drop out of the sky? And I'm like, no. Let me give you an example here. If we're doing 70 miles an hour on the GTR and the engine suddenly stops on the middle of the interstate, is it going to come to a grinding halt? No, it's going to keep on just going to coast. It's like putting it neutral, right? It's going to coast. The same thing happens in a plane. So the plane is essentially now a glider, like we take out there and do sport glider. You know, they're trained to put it. You put it like the basic planes is like 65. So you put it at 65. You just kind of put the nose up a little bit, kind of slow it down. Basically turns it into a nice floaty glider, and from there you can glide that bad boy for miles if you need to. You'll stay up there for minutes on end. Well, you get plenty of time to find a nice field to land to. Maybe there's a runway nearby. You can call for Mayday, and I'm gonna, you get a hold of them and you go and do emergency landing. There's so much time. A plane does not drop out of the ground just because it is. They just turn into gliders, big giant gliders. You just sit there and glide through the air. Military planes now can't because they're made for not to be aerodynamic. They're made to be like bank and wild turns and stuff like that. But a general plane, your Cessnas, Pipers, and all that stuff, they're going to just glide for days. And that's basically some of the first things you learn while you're doing this stuff. Do you think they're getting boating? No, boatings are a big thing for me. Yeah, Wranglers are some of the highest resale values. As a matter of fact, Jeeps hold some of the highest resale values out there. Their build quality isn't even that good, but people like Jeeps. They love them. It's an American tradition going back since World War II. People like a Jeep. You can do anything with it. You can take it anywhere, and people just love it. So they have a very high resale value. I feel like plane is safer than a car because traffic. So here's how that works with traffic. You only know about other traffic if you're on ATC and you're using them for what they call flight following. So basically, they're keeping an eye on you, and you say, "Hey, I'm here in Kissimmee. I have here's how I would approach it. I'd say Orlando approach is a Cessna, blah blah, whatever my tail number is. I'm like 2 miles north of the Kissimmee airport. I'd like flight following and whatever." And they'll say, "Okay, squawk this." So you turn your little beacon to whatever 4-digit code they tell you, and then they verify they know where you are. I'd like to do it at 5,500 feet, and then they'll say, "All right, that's approved," or whatever, and then they'll just say, continue on VFR. They'll say maintain VFR, St. Augustine. And basically, that's the only time they're going to keep an eye on you and tell you. Now, they do have a new thing. It's 2020. They have to have ADSB, which basically tells everybody where everybody else is. And if you have an iPad or you have it on your dash, they can find it. But let's say you don't have that, then you wouldn't know unless keeping an eye out, you see somebody out there. But for the most part, flight following is very helpful because they'll tell you if there's bad weather in front of you hey, you might want to watch out or take this route to get around it. Or if there's planes around you, they'll warn you about them before you can even see it. All kinds of stuff. It's really, really cool. They tell you all the. So let's say we're getting close to St. Augustine. Once you get close to St. Augustine, they'll say Cessna, whatever the tail number is. Go ahead and go to the tower, St. Augustine Tower, and this is their frequency to change to it. And they tell you the frequency and all the things, and they'll say, "Squawk VFR, have a good night." Yes, ma'am. And so that's what it's meant for, and it really helps. Should I use lead substitute in my grandfather's? I don't know. I don't even deal with boats, so I have no idea. My car is a Mazda 3, 2015, has a 5-star crash rating. Okay. What do you think happened to the Malaysian airplane? I think it went off deep into the Indian Ocean, and you'll never know. It might be 100 years before you ever know, but I think that's what happened. I think it went off and got lost in the deep ocean somewhere and, is gone. That's what I think happened. I think it had some issues mechanical-wise, and poof, it's off the map, gone. And who knows? We'll probably never, like Amelia Earhart, back in the day, the woman that wanted to go around the world, she just disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to her. They'll never find her. It's gone. It went off the map, you know what I mean? And there he goes. By the way, let's see, my phone is only a couple % left, so I'll have to get off here in a minute. Do you play any flight simulator? No, I don't. A lot of the guys do because it really does help them a lot, but I don't. I know for a fact that the flight school I will be attending has a big fancy flight simulator inside their offices, and you get half of your hours with instrument hours using that. So you're allowed to have a certain amount of hours for instrument, a certain amount of hours for multi-engine and whatever, as long as it's a certified setup. So you don't have to rent the plane or anything. You just pay like $60 an hour to use their simulator. And it's a huge, massive one, shaped just like a cockpit. And it's all crazy once you go in there. So again, $60 is cheaper than $160 to rent it. So that's what they do. A lot of these places will just do half of the time. Ooh, my screen just got really dark. They'll use half of the time to use the instrument to save money in their flight training. You don't have to use it all that way, but if you really want to save money, then you just do the instrument for, like, they'll say maybe 20 hours of that instrument rating has to be, you can be, whatchamacallit, a simulator. Okay, I'm gonna fly 20 of my hours on the simulator, so that way I cut down on a lot of money. Have you watched Ground Tour? Yes, I have Amazon Prime. Conspiracy theories will say UFO have them. Conspiracy theories also say that this whole virus is a crock and that the government's trying to take over everything. Think about that one for a while. Government shuts down everything, but they didn't shut down H1N1. They didn't shut down mad cow. They didn't shut down bird flu. They didn't shut down swine, all that shit. Think about that one for a while. But yet, meanwhile, more people die by the flu every year. More people die by heart disease. 600-something thousand Americans. By 600-something thousand Americans die every year from cancer as well. But we don't shut that down either. Have you? Nobody's ever seen this in their history. The whole world is shut down. Makes you think. Maybe you're an end times believer and you read the Bible about the end times and the one world government. You can start to get a lot of this stuff, and they're, it's really interesting. It's like, and they're not finding out near as many people are dying for it now. They're like, wait, our predictions are way off. No shit, So yeah, there's a lot of issues there. You can get way off into conspiracy land if you really want to. Anytime something happens conspiracy, of course, moon landing 9/11. Yep, Bush did 9/11. Bush did 9/11. That's the best one. Bush knocked down the towers himself. I bet the government is taking advantage of the virus by replacing the batteries on the pigeons. I mean, I tell you, I've heard a lot of stuff about it, and some of the stuff, like I said, I think it's just a crock of shit. People get sick with the flu every year. Old people that already have issues, they die from the flu every year. But we're not panic struck at. It's like 50,000 people on average a year die of the flu, and obviously older people that have already compromised systems. And the same thing you're hearing about this. The people that are dying usually are compromised systems, but yet because 2,000 people have died, or at the time it was less than that, we're gonna freaking lose our damn mind. But why aren't we shutting it down for the flu every year? Why aren't we shutting it down for this? You want to get conspiracy theory? You can dig real deep there. It's like, wait, we shut the entire world down for what? So as we can say, we can dive into that and you can have fun. I don't get Bush take down the tower. So Bush wanted, the conspiracy theory I heard was that Bush wanted to start a war in Iraq and stuff, and that was his way to do it, was to say that terrorists attacked and took over the planes, obviously, and blew up them. And that that I guess the other World Trade buildings around there, because there's more than one World Trade Tower, but some of the smaller, tiny ones around it, they all fell down. There was nothing actually there. Like nothing hit them, and yet they all fell down. And so that they said they were actually bombed, like by the government basically blew those buildings up to say, hey, this is our reason, we got to go into Iraq and all this stuff. So yeah, it's wild when you think about it. I know you're Florida and you probably don't have the issue with freezing temperatures, but I would let my Maguire's Gold Class Curtain Plus Premium Pace freeze. It should still be good. I don't see why not. I mean, I would just let it thaw out and go from there. Don't understand how Building 7 fell, though. That's what I'm talking about, my music. The virus was created because somebody was probably playing Plague. I've definitely heard that I honestly believe that the Chinese made it their own flu. And then they released it only in the area of Wuhan, and then of course they let everybody do their typical flying back and forth, and on purpose, so that way they would spread it around the world. And that's the problem we have now. Where all the Chinese people usually go, that's where all the hotspots are. Your New York, your San Francisco's, your Seattle's, Italy. I heard what happened. Why Italy is hit so hard is because we all know about the famous Italian leathers and shoes and stuff like that. Well, where do you think they get most of those day laborers from? China. So there was a heavy Chinese population in Italy, which of course that brought it over, and then boom, now Italy looks like it's the worst place in the world, nuclear bomb. But if you have most of your people that are there, huge amounts of them come from Italy, China, well, then there you go. That's what normally happens.
So yeah, I've definitely heard that, and I kind of believe that that's what happened. I believe that it was tested in their facility, and it got out, whether it was purposefully got out or whatever, but it got out, and then we have what we have today. Smells like somebody's burning something. Stinks. Hopefully my son's not messing around inside the house doing something stupid he shouldn't be, but he doesn't know about any of that kind of stuff anyways. The virus was created because somebody was probably playing. Yep, they tried to stop those Hong Kong, and that's what I heard too. The Hong Kong protesters that they were having a lot of protesting in Hong Kong, and suddenly now there's no more protesting. Imagine that. Oh, but who knows? I mean, and you'll also keep an eye on the news, guys. You're seeing it starting in a lot of these countries, these like more like aggressive countries, like trying stuff. Like Trump called out Iran. They found out that Iran was planning to attack. The U.S. bases in Iraq and attack other places in Iraq. And think about it. Iran could come in right now and just take over Iraq itself. Iran would anyways. That's what they've been wanting. And then Trump found out about it and called them out and said, don't you dare do it. Otherwise, you're fucked. China is getting very aggressive in the South China Sea. They just sank one Vietnamese boat, and they took another one aboard, even though it was in international waters. I mean, you just keep a very eye close on this. It could be that, what is it, like, look over here, and then, your right hand's over there doing something totally different, because you're over here looking at this side. Just keep an eye on stuff on the news over the next 6 months. Who knows? This could be some of these countries' opportunities. By the way, my phone is almost dead, by the way, guys, just letting you know. I have 3% battery left. Population control. Possibly, Aaron, possibly. My school has been closed for about a month now. Yeah, yours and mine too. I was supposed to be in flight school, but they sent a letter out around the 15th of March saying that it was closing down until everything went back to normal. And I'm like, oh, now flight schools aren't mandated to shut down. They consider flight schools a need, because obviously with pilots and stuff, you need pilots to fly people. And then of course, if you can't fly your goods around, then you can't fly them, obviously. So you have to have pilots. So they're considered one of the essential jobs or whatever. But the school I was going to use canceled. They shut down their stuff. So it's like, oh geez, are you kidding me? So that's why I'm doing, and that's why I'm just doing my online classes right now. Hey, this way I have my online class done before I even start. Normally you take a little bit of the online classes as you're going, but a lot of people recommended just get the online class early. And that way, when you actually do your flying portion, you've already done all that. You don't have to worry about doing all that later when you're stressed out. I don't know about World War III, Aaron. I don't know. I could see a power grab, maybe going for some of the other places in the area, maybe taking more land, kind of like Japan did. Japan took advantage of all this stuff, back in the 30s. What did they do? They slowly took over Manchuria and Hong Kong and Vietnam. They took over the Philippines. They took over Indonesia, and they were starting to bomb Australia. So I mean, you see how it goes. I mean, you wait until somebody's not paying attention, or you're like, oh, they're too busy doing something else. Boom, then you hit. So I don't know. I mean, I know it's conspiracy, but if you read history and you see history will always repeat itself. When everybody was worried about what was going on in Europe and stuff, Japan just went crazy out there in the East, because nobody was there to worry about them. And who was going to tell them anything? You're busy fighting Germany in Europe. You're Germany and Italy. You don't give a crap about what's going on in Asia. And then when, Hitler overran like in Netherlands and France and stuff, well, Japan just ran over there and just took up all their stuff. Vietnam was controlled by France. Indonesia was the Dutch East Indies. You get what I'm trying to say. So everybody's busy over here, but what's going on this side? So I don't know. It's interesting. I know the public schools are opening again this year, fall semester. Coronavirus is a U.S. update. Yep. I don't know, man. Apparently there's a 5G theory conspiracy. I don't know. I heard a lot about 5G. It's supposed to like fry your brain or something, but that's fun. I know we got like people in here. 2% batteries. Let's go ahead and wrap this up right now. Let us wrap this up. I know we're way getting off into a tangent, but that's what I like. We like hanging out together and we like spending time. But I want to thank everybody for getting to hang out with me today. I love you guys. Of course, I love my donors as well. If you haven't hit a thumbs up for me, hit that thumbs up. Let's push this thing way up. If you haven't seen today's video with the black ceramic wax, please go watch it, leave a thumbs up, and let the entire video play. I know it's a long video, but YouTube loves to push videos where they see a lot of stuff in there. That everybody's watching the entire video, thumbs up, they're leaving comments. YouTube sees that in the analytics, and then they automatically push that video higher up. So that's all I ask, and I appreciate what you guys do for me. I really do. Anyways, I hope everybody has a great week. I'm going to try and finish this thing tomorrow, and then I'm going to work on the black ceramic wax and spray wax on it for the video, and then that way we'll top it and make it look beautiful, and then I'll have that video out either Wednesday or Saturday for you guys. So that way you guys know what to look forward to. Anyways, thanks again for being a part of my subscribers. I really do appreciate it. You guys mean a lot to me, more than you'll ever know. And keep watching, keep having fun, keep cleaning your car, and I'll see you guys at the very next video. Take care, guys, and good night.